Namaste, Titan. So, hello everyone, good afternoon. Okay, so hello everyone, Pujita, good afternoon. Lakshmi Shah, good afternoon. Sujesh, good afternoon, ma'am, good afternoon. Shiva, good afternoon, ma'am, good afternoon, Shiva. Nivedini, good afternoon, ma'am, good afternoon. Ahmed, good afternoon, ma'am, thank you for yesterday's wonderful session. You're very much welcome. Good afternoon, Ahmed. Shiva, looking great and energetic today. Thank you. Sujesh, yesterday's session was very much power packed. Yeah, that's the name of uh, the batch or the marathon. It is power packed marathon. So, yes, Banateja, good afternoon. Your benefits are. Good afternoon. Okay, so let's begin the class. Now, in the yesterday's class, also, whenever the live has completed, in the comment section, many students have asked for PDF, PDF, PDF. I've already conveyed in the video many times. So before starting today's class also, I'm conveying again, I have shared the link in the description box and also in the chat box of the Telegram channel. In the Telegram channel, I've already shared the PDF of today's class. So you can go there and download the PDF and watch it when you're watching the classes. I hope it's clear. So yes, good afternoon everyone. As you already know, this is a marathon session for CMA final paper number 17, cost and management audit. Now, in the yesterday's day 1 of marathon, we have started with section A cost audit and we have completed unit 1 basics of cost audit and unit 2 companies cost records and audit rules 2014. And mostly the mark coverage or the weightage which we have covered yesterday is 27 marks. So yes, we have covered it. Now, the main motto of this marathon is not just explaining you the concept, but also to make you understand how questions are being framed in the examination and how you have to write in the examination. So, in this material, whatever question I have given, whatever presentation I have given, you can exactly copy paste that presentation in your examination to get the wonderful marks, whatever you are desiring. I hope it's clear. Now, in today's class, what are the topics we are going to cover? From section A cost audit only, today we are going to cover unit 3 cost auditor and unit 4 overview of cost accounting standards and GASAP, which is GACAP GASAP. I hope it is clear. Now coming to unit 3 cost auditor, how many questions are we going to cover? I have segregated into super questions and smart questions. In super questions, we have 7 questions, and in smart questions also we have 7 questions. Now coming to the weightage of this particular unit 3 cost auditor is 7 to 9 marks. Now what is it 9 marks, ma'am? One MCQ can be tested. Okay, 7 marks question is pakka and one MCQ will be tested. Now coming to next, unit 4, overview of cost accounting standards and GASAP, GACAP. I need not tell you about the weightage of this particular unit. This is very, very, very important unit. Coming to the practical questions. So in cost accounting standards, we have practical questions. From that practical questions, two practical questions are very, very confirmed questions, which is question number 4A and question number 4B. So in your paper 4A and 4B will definitely be from overview of cost accounting standards and GASAP based on the previous trend analysis and also based on the MQP mock question paper which is released for December 2025 attempt. The same pattern has been taken. Okay, so coming to this, how many questions? In this particular video, I'm only going to cover the theory questions, not the practical questions. I've already told in the previous class also. So, many students have a big doubt asking, ma'am, in unit 4, which is cost accounting standards, are theory important? Can we just stick on to the practicals? Or some students have also asked whether we can skip the entire practical questions from cost accounting standards because we don't want to touch the practical questions. We only depend on theory for this subject, which is cost and management audit. Now, the main problem is, as I've already told in the previous class, in a theoretical subject and when you're writing theory questions, getting 7 out of 7 marks is way more difficult. Because in 1 or 2 points, you might go out with the terminology or you might go out with the sentence formation. But coming to the practical questions, nothing can be gone wrong because step-wise marking will be given to you. So either you can lose 1 or 2 marks, but whatever you have written, if you have written the entire steps correctly, you will get 7 out of 7 marks. So scoring much higher is easy in practical questions. And also, we have very simple questions in cost and management audit. Whatever questions you take up in SFM, in CFR are way more difficult, and also you have to understand the concepts very well. But here it's simple concepts and also the problems are very easy compared to the other subjects. So I request my students to go with the practical questions as well. And in this particular video, I'm going to tell you what theory questions can be tested from Unit 4 Cost Accounting Standards and GASAP. Okay, so here also I have given super questions as 9 questions and smart questions are 6 questions. And coming to the weightage, 14 marks or 27 marks can be tested. Okay, based on mock question paper, this is the weightage which we have taken. I hope it is clear. So these are the 2 topics which we are going to cover in today's class. Now, before starting with the concept, I want in the chat box, how many of you have done your revision in the previous class? After completion of class, I have told you to go and revise as I have shared the material in the Telegram channel. How many of you revised in the yesterday's class, after yesterday's class, which means? Kajal, thank you so much, ma'am. Because of your revision lecture, I got 62 marks in cost audit. Kajal, I remember you, Kajal. Santosh Kumar. Ma'am, PDF, Telegram channel. Link is there in the chat box. Link is there in the description box. Go to the channel and you will find it in the pins. Okay, I have pinned the PDF. You can find that. Mallikarjuna, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. Sudesh, me. Muskan, me. Gajendra, did it, ma'am. Okay, very well. Great. Okay, so let's begin today's class. I hope every one of you have revised the yesterday's class. Now, moving on to our first today's topic. Sachin, this is my first class. Should I attend or do previous class? You can attend today's live class and after that you can go to previous class and watch it. There is no connection between Unit 1, Unit 2 and Unit 3. So you can watch today's class and then you can move on. After completion of this class, you can watch the previous class. Pujita, done, ma'am. Yashwant, Nene. Great. Done. Now we are going to start with our Unit 3, Cost Auditor. Now, starting with super question number 1. Now, before starting the theory or the questions, the name itself, it is a cost auditor. When we were discussing in the previous class, Unit 2, what is Unit 2? Companies, Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. In that, we have discussed the rules and also forms. Yes or no? In Rule 2, what I told you, Rule 2 is of definitions, and in that rule 2 definitions we have a definition of cost auditor, right? Now according to rule 2C of companies cost records and audit rules 2014, we have a definition for cost auditor. Now who is called as a cost auditor? A cost accountant in practice. A cost accountant in practice who is having a valid certificate of practice and who is deemed to be in practice. Who is deemed to be in practice. This person is called as a cost auditor, and whoever this cost accountant in practice is there, he should be appointed by board of directors. He should be appointed by board of directors. Then after such appointment, he will become a cost auditor. This we have discussed in previous class, right? Now, with that introduction, if we start our super question number 1. As per Companies Act 2013, enumerate the qualifications and disqualifications of a cost auditor. This is a very important question which has been asked multiple times in the previous attempt, and also this is your December 2025 mock question paper question as well. Now, either the question can be framed as such in the above, or else they can ask separately the disqualifications. As per section 141 subsection 3, read with rule 10 of Company Audit and Auditors Rules 2014, explain the persons who shall not be eligible for the appointment as an auditor of a company. So either the way the question can be tested. They can ask both qualifications and disqualifications, or they can only go for the disqualifications. Okay. Now, coming to this question, it is very important for you to remember the sections, because in our subject cost and management audit, section numbers are very limited. So I request you to remember the section numbers and write it in the examination as well to fetch more marks. Okay. Now, what are the sections do we have? In the previous class, I have discussed one of the section, which is section number 148, right? In 148, we have seen central government has a power from Companies Act 2013 through section number 148, so that it can prescribe or specify what companies can go for cost records and cost audit. This we have covered in the previous class, right? Now, other than the section 148, we also have section 141. Now, in the section 141, we have qualifications, disqualifications, rights, duties, eligibility about the auditors. Okay. So, these two sections we have. Remember these two sections and you have to write it in your examination as well. Now, starting with the qualifications. As per section 141 subsection 3, if you are not remembering subsection, it is fine, it is okay, but section number you have to write it down. Okay. As per section 141, read with section 148 of Companies Act 2013 and along with Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. Section number 148 subsection 5 tells us that whatever provisions which are applicable for financial auditor are equally applicable to the cost auditor. We doesn't have specific sections about the qualifications, disqualifications, rights and duties specifically for cost auditor. But in one section, which is section 148 subsection 5, they have mentioned that whatever provisions which are applicable for financial auditor will equally be applicable for a cost auditor. So these 2 points are very important. You have to write it down. Next, a person is eligible for appointment as a cost auditor if, so these are the qualifications. What are the qualifications? First, they are a cost accountant as per Companies Act 2013 and Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959, which means you are a CMA according to the definition which is given in Companies Act 2013, and also you have done the certification from Cost and Work Accountants Act 1956. Clear? Now the second point, cost accountant means who is called as a cost accountant? Cost accountant means the cost accountant as defined in the Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959 and who holds a valid certificate of practice. If you have a valid certificate of practice, then only you will be covered under the definition of cost accountants, not for everything, but only for the eligibility to become a cost auditor. Now, cost accountant means a person who is a member of institute. So far, we have covered three major important points in qualifications. First of all, you have to become a cost accountant. Second, you need to have a valid certificate of practice. And third, you need to be a member of institute. Next, a person is a member of institute if his name appears in the register of institute. When will you become a member of institute? If whatever the register which is maintained by the institute, in that register, if your name is appearing, then you will become a member of institute. Next, an individual or firm, as the case may be, is eligible for appointment, not disqualified, and satisfies section 141. With the above qualifications, you also have to satisfy the provisions which are given in section 141, which means here in section 141. Now, whatever we are reading is in section 141. Other than this, we also have disqualifications, which means you have to cover all these things. You have to not fall under any of the disqualifications. And in section 141, we also have the rights. All the rights you have to follow it. The duties, you have to comply with all the duties which are there. If everything is complied with, then you can become a cost auditor. Next, a firm or LLP can be appointed if the majority of partners are qualified cost accountants. Now, who can become a cost auditor? An individual can become a cost auditor who is a cost accountant, has a valid COP and a member of institute. Other than individual, LLP can also become a cost auditor. Other than LLP, firm, which is partnership firm, can also become a cost auditor. Now, coming to individual, all these provisions are equally applicable. That's easy. Now, coming to LLP and firm. This LLP and firm can become a cost auditor only if whoever the partners are there, from that partners, majority of partners are CMAs. Which means we will apply this particular provisions, whatever are there, to the partners of LLP and firm. Which means majority of partners should be cost accountants, majority of partners should be holding a valid certificate of practice, majority of partners' name should appear in the register of members. If these three provisions are applied to the majority of members in limited liability partnership and a partnership firm, then LLP and firm can also become a cost auditor. I hope it is clear. Next, in case of firm or LLP, only cost accountant partners can act and sign as an auditor. Now, we have told that LLP or firm can become a cost auditor. It does not mean the non-partners of CMA, which means the partners who are not CMA can also act. They can also come. They can also give their judgment, opinion on our cost and pricing statements. The answer is no. Only as a name in the forms. In the form number 3, when appointing, in form number, in rules, whenever we are appointing, we have to write the name, yes or no. We have to write the name of the cost auditor. In form number 2 as well as in the form number 4, we have to write the name of a cost auditor, whether they are individual, firm or LLP. Now, only when we are writing the name, we'll use the name of LLP or firm. But who will act and sign on behalf? Only the partners who are CMAs will act and sign on behalf of LLP and firm. Whoever the partners who are not related to CMA, they doesn't have any right to talk or act on behalf of firm. I hope it is clear. So, all these are the qualifications to become a cost auditor. I hope it is clear. Now, moving on to the disqualifications. As per section 141 subsection 3, read with Rule 10 of Company Audit and Auditor Rules 2014 and Section 148 of Companies Act 2013, the following persons shall not be eligible for the appointment as an auditor of a company. Here you have to be very clear. Don't write that this person is disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor. No, the terminology is very important. This following persons shall not be eligible for the appointment as an auditor of a company. Terminology is very important. You have to write the same terminology which I have given. I hope it is clear. Now, what are the disqualifications which we have? A body corporate other than limited liability partnership, other than LLP, any body corporate is disqualified. They are not eligible to become a cost auditor. Registered under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. Now, why LLP? Because in our qualifications, LLP is there. So, any body corporate other than LLP is disqualified. Next, an officer or employee of a company is disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor. Now, you are a person who is working under my company. Suppose, example, I have a Parvathi Limited and you are working under my company as an employee. Yes or no? Now, I am preparing my costings. You are working under me. You know how much I am putting my cost. You know how much my profit is there. Even though you don't know the exact number, at least you have an idea what's happening inside the company. Yes or no? Now, if I am recruiting you as a cost auditor, you are my employee. If I'm recruiting you to be my cost auditor, will I accept you stating in the cost audit report something wrong about me? Is there any chance of doing that? I'll hit in your head and say that you are my employee and do whatever I tell you. Yes or no? So here there is a chance of manipulation and doing wrong. So cost auditor should always be an independent person, which means he should not have any kind of relationship with the entity. Only then that person can become a cost auditor. Now, here there is a relationship between the company and a person. The person, whoever is there, is an employee or an officer who is working in the company. So, there is a relationship between them. So, he cannot become a cost auditor. So, here he is disqualified. I hope it is clear. Now, a person who is a partner or who is in the employment of the officer or employee of a company, which means a person A is my employee or officer who is working in my company. Now, similarly, whoever this A is there, who is working as my employee, some B person, he is the employee of A, which means, now, there is one person who is Sujesh. I hope it's okay. Now, Sujesh is one of the person. He is working under one company who is Bhanu's company. Bhanu Limited, will take it as Private Limited. Bhanu Private Limited. He is working under Bhanu Private Limited. Now, Sujesh is working under Bhanu Private Limited. So, he is an employee of Bhanu Teja. Similarly, Sujesh is also having another business. He is working and is also having another business in which Muskan is working. So, Muskan is employee of Sujesh and Sujesh is employee of Bhanu Limited. So, now what happening is Sujesh is disqualified to be appointed in Bhanu Limited as a cost auditor. This is our previous point. An officer or employee of a company cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. Now, in this point, a person who is a partner or who is in the employment of officer or employee of a company cannot become a cost auditor, which means if Muskan is an employee of Sujesh, also she is disqualified. Also, if Muskan is a partner of Sujesh in this business also, Muskan is disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor in Bhanu Limited. I hope it is clear. So here a person who is a partner or who is in the employment of whom? Of the officer or employee who is working in the company. So this partner or the employee of officer or employee is disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor in the company. I hope it is clear. Now, a person who or his relative or partner. From here relative is also is there, which means person, his relative or his partner is holding any security of or interest in the company or its subsidiary company or of its holding or associate company or subsidiary of holding company, which means either it can be a company, it can be its subsidiary company, it can be its holding company, it can be its subsidiary of holding company, or it can be its associate company. Any company in 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. In any of these 5 companies, if the person is having a security or interest, any kind of interest, if he is having a shares, debentures, bonds, anything, if a person is having, if his relative is having, or if his partner is having any kind of security or interest in holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, subsidiary of holding company, then that too for a amount of subsidiary of such holding company of a face value not exceeding rupees 1 lakh. So the face value should be less than 1 lakh. If then he is disqualified. If it is more than 1 lakh, then he is disqualified. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now, is indebted to the company or its subsidiary company or its holding or associate or subsidiary of such holding company in excess of rupees 5 lakh rupees, which means more than 5 lakh rupees, you are indebted to the company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company or subsidiary of holding company. You are only having debt in my company or you are only having debt in my subsidiary company. What you will come and do cost audit for me? First clear your debt. After that you can become a cost auditor. Okay. So if you are having an indebtedness, then you cannot become a cost auditor. Of how much rupees? More than 5 lakh rupees. If it is less than 5 lakh rupees, okay, no problem. Now, has given a guarantee or provide any security in connection with the indebtedness of a third party for an excess of 1 lakh rupees. In the same company, subsidiary company, holding, associate or subsidiary of such holding company, which means even if you are having a debt or your relative is having a debt or your partner is having a debt, then you, your relative, your partner is disqualified. Or else if you or your partner or your relative have given a guarantee of the indebtedness of a third party, then you are disqualified, your partner is disqualified, your relative is disqualified, and also the third party for which you have given a guarantee, that third party is also disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor in company, subsidiary company, associate company, subsidiary of holding company. I hope it is clear. So if security is there, it is 1 lakh rupees of a face value. And then if it is of indebtedness, the amount should be excessive of 5 lakhs. If it is guarantee provided, then the indebtedness should be 1 lakh rupees, which means excess of 1 lakh rupees. I hope these points are clear. Now, a person or a firm who, whether directly or indirectly, has any kind of business relationship with the company or its subsidiary or its holding or associate company or subsidiary of such holding company or associate company of such nature as may be prescribed, which means if you are having any kind of business relationship with any of the related companies, then you are disqualified. Now here for this point, you have to write a note point which is very, very important. What does it mean by business relationship? Note point. For this purpose, the term business relationship shall be construed as any transaction entered into for a commercial purpose, which means in terms of money. If you are having any kind of relationship with the company, then it is called as a business relationship. There are two exceptions for this. Except commercial transactions which are in the nature of professional services permitted to be rendered by an auditor or audit firm under the Companies Act 2013 or the Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959 and the rules or regulations made under those acts. Which means if he is providing any kind of services which is permitted to do so, which means an auditor can be appointed as an auditor at the same time for less than 20 companies. For less than 20 companies. So, for example, if an auditor is there who is working, a person is there who is working as an auditor for one of your associate companies. Okay. Now, he is having the business relationship for one of your associate company, which he is permitted to do so. If it is more than 20 companies only, he is not allowed. But it is less than 20 companies, he has followed all the provisions which are there, and he has been appointed as a cost auditor in one of your associate company. Now, can he become a cost auditor for your company? Yes, he can, if it is of a commercial purpose and if he is permitted to do so, and it is as a professional service. Since this is permitted to do so, this kind of business relationship is accepted. He is not disqualified. I hope it is clear. Now, second point, commercial transactions which are in the ordinary course of business of a company at arm's length price, like sale of a product or services to the auditor as a customer. If your auditor is becoming your customer, if you have a bag showroom, if you are manufacturer of bags and your auditor is purchasing one of the bag from you, then the transaction should be in the arm's length basis, which means whatever you charge to the other customer, the same charges should be applicable to the cost auditor as well. If you are charging for a bag 10,000 rupees to the other customer, the same 10,000 rupees you have to charge for the cost auditor as well. If that's the case, then that business relationship is also accepted. He is not disqualified. I hope it is clear. So this is about the business relationship. Other than the exceptions, if there is any kind of business relationship by the person or firm to the company, subsidiary company, holding company, associate company, subsidiary of such holding company, he is disqualified. I hope it is clear. Next, a person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial person, which means if your relative is a director or he is a employee of a director or KMP, then also he is disqualified. Your relative is also disqualified, that person is also disqualified. A person who is in the full-time employment elsewhere. See, in the first qualifications itself, we have a point stating that he should have a valid certificate of practice, which means he should be deemed to be in full-time practice. Only then he will be a qualified cost accountant. Now, if he is doing some part-time, then that's fine. But he is a full-time employee elsewhere. Now, when he is full-timely working for other company, will he have any kind of time to come and practice there? No. So if he is having any full-time employment, then he is disqualified. Or a person or a partner of a firm holding appointment as its auditor. If such person or a partner is at the date on such appointment or reappointment, holding appointment as an auditor of more than 20 companies, which means on the date of appointment, if the person is having the appointment, he is working as a cost auditor for more than 20 companies, which means on the 21st company, he cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. Okay, this is on the date of appointment, not from the tenure he has become a cost auditor. No, on the date of appointment, if he is holding the position of a cost auditor for 20 companies and this company becomes a 21st company, then in this company, he is disqualified to be appointed. I hope it is clear. Next. A person who has been convicted by the court of an offence involving a fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed from the date of conviction, which means you have committed a fraud, you have sent to be jailed and you have given a sentence for 10 years. Okay, now you have been released, you have come out, and after that they have to calculate the 10 years. Okay, after from the date of such conviction, which means you have completed your sentence life, after that 10 years. Okay, not from you have become convicted and you have sent to jail. From that also you will be in jail for 10 years. Right after releasing from jail, can you become a cost auditor? The answer is no. After coming from jail, after releasing, from that date, 10 days. After that, you can become a cost auditor. I hope it is clear. A person who directly or indirectly renders any service on the date of appointment referred to section 144. These are called as specialized services. Specialized services. If the person whoever is going to be appointed as a cost auditor on the date of appointment. On the date of appointment, if he is rendering any of the services to company, then he is disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor. Now, what are those services? Accounting and bookkeeping services, internal audit services, design and implementation of any financial information system, actuarial services, investment advisory services, investment banking services, rendering of outsourced financial services, management services, any other kind of services as may be prescribed. If on the date of appointment, if the auditor is providing any of the specialized services as mentioned in section 144, then he will be disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor. I hope it is clear. Now, all these are the disqualifications, where a person appointed as an auditor of a company incurs any of the disqualifications mentioned in 141 subsection 3 after his appointment. Listen carefully. Before appointing, we will check for the disqualifications. We will check for the qualifications. After that only he will be appointed as a cost auditor. But after appointing as a cost auditor, when he is in his tenure of working as a cost auditor, if he come across any of the disqualifications we have stated above, he has to immediately vacate his office. He has to leave the position and go out from the office. Okay. He shall vacate his office as an such auditor, and such vacation shall be deemed to be as a casual vacancy. Any kind of casual vacancy should be filled by the board of directors within 30 days. I hope it is clear. This is from section 141 subsection 4. I hope it is clear. So this is about the qualifications and disqualifications of cost auditor. Is it clear? Now, many students have asked me, ma'am, can we write at least 2-3 points here? Ma'am, can we write 5 points? Ma'am, can we write 6 points? If you remember, write all the points. If not, to fetch more marks, you have to write the most important points, which are these. These 3 points are very important to be written. A body corporate, very important. Officer or employee, very important. This you can remember. Partner or employee of officer or employee, you can write it. This point, full-time employment elsewhere. You can split the point and write it as a second point, which means the other point, stating that if he is holding as a cost auditor on the date of appointment more than 20 companies, you can write this point. And then section 144, specialized services. From this you can write 1 or 2 and you can state any other services. Okay, I hope it is clear. If you are writing a point of business relationship, then this note point is very important. You have to write it down. I hope it is clear. Super question number 1. Is it clear, qualifications and disqualifications? Guys, please be active in the chat box. Is it clear? The question, is it clear? Yes, madam, clear. Namrata, yes, ma'am. Titan, yes, ma'am. What about others? There are 39 watching. Please be active in the chat box. Give me the reply. Yashwant, clear, ma'am. Gajendra, yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. Now, super question number 2. ABC was appointed as a cost auditor. Bhanuteja, Chopra, Pujita, clear, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, super question number 2. ABC was appointed as a cost auditor of PQR Limited for the financial year 2023 and 24. After 3 months of the appointment, for some reasons, the cost auditor becomes disqualified to be appointed as a cost auditor. State the steps to be taken by the company as a consequence of such event, which means after appointing, if any of the disqualifications has become applied, then what the cost auditor has to do? He has to vacate the office, and after vacation, it will be treated as a casual vacancy, and that casual vacancy have to be filled by the board of directors within 30 days. Can these 3 points be sufficient for a 7 marks question? The answer is no. We have to be more innovative, impressive. Yes or no? So we have to write some blah blah things, which you already know. Let's see what it is. If a cost auditor vacates office, the board of directors must fill the vacancy within 30 days. The procedure for appointing a new cost auditor is as follows. This is what we have seen in the previous class in Unit 2. The same process is there. Rule 14 of Companies Audit and Auditors Rules 2014 has laid down the procedure of appointment and fixing the remuneration of a cost auditor for the purpose of section 148 subsection 3. What did we see in section 148 subsection 3? A cost auditor should be a cost accountant in practice, and he will be appointed by the board of directors. That I have told you when we were discussing about section 148 subsection 3. Now, this appointment and fixing of a remuneration, I'll make it simple for you. Appointment and fixing of a remuneration is of two categories. If the company is having an audit committee, if the company is not having an audit committee. Okay, if the company is having an audit committee, the main role of audit committee is to give recommendations to the board of directors. Okay, now for appointing a cost auditor, the audit committee will give the recommendations and board of directors will decide it, and board of directors will appoint a cost auditor. Clear? Now coming to the fixation of remuneration. Similarly, audit committee will give recommendations to board of directors. Board of directors will decide and fix the remuneration. After fixing the remuneration, shareholders will ratify the remuneration which is fixed by the board of directors. Now, what does it mean by ratification? Confirming the amount which is going to be given to the cost auditor. Okay, this is going to be the remuneration of the cost auditor. We are accepting this amount. Ratification, giving a signature or a sanction for that particular amount. Okay, that will be ratified by the shareholders. Similarly, if there is no audit committee, now no one will give the recommendation, so board of directors will directly decide and appoint a cost auditor. Similarly, for the remuneration, board of directors, they themselves will decide what will be the remuneration for the cost auditor, and after that it should be ratified by the shareholders. I hope it is clear. Ratified, the word is very important. You have to write that in the examination. Now, companies with an audit committee. The audit committee recommends the appointment of a cost accountant in a practice or a firm of cost accountants in practice. The committee also recommends the remuneration of the cost auditor. The board of directors approves the appointment and the remuneration, which must be ratified by the shareholders. I hope it is clear. Next, companies without an audit committee. The board of directors directly appoints the cost auditor and they will directly fix the remuneration. After that, the remuneration must be ratified by the shareholders. I hope it is clear. Next, compliance by the newly appointed cost auditor. The new cost auditor must submit an acceptance letter and an eligibility certificate. In the previous class, we have seen after appointing a cost auditor, the company has to intimate the cost auditor about the appointment, and after intimating about the appointment, they have to receive in a written the written consent and also the certificate which will state about the eligibility of that particular cost auditor, which means he is qualified and does not come across any of the disqualifications. He satisfies section 141. Appointment is as per limits. Now whatever procedures which are required to be followed, everything is complied with, and the relationship between the auditor and the company is on arm's length relationship. Everything has to be given in the certificate. Eligibility certificate after receiving the appointment offer. Next, regularity. Can we write audit engagement letter? Audit engagement letter is nothing but the, what we say, it's like agreement between the company and the auditor. Okay. So in that audit engagement letter, what all the auditor can do and cannot do will be written. That will not come when they are appointing a cost auditor. So these are the procedures which should be followed. Now, audit engagement letter is important to be written, is to be stored by the cost auditor. That's true. But it is like an agreement between both. It is not the procedure which has to be followed during the appointment process. Okay, so you cannot write the audit engagement letter word here. I hope it is clear. Now, regularity filing requirements. Now, the company must file a revised notice with the central government in Form CRA2 within 30 days of the board meeting in which the new appointment was made. Similarly, for the previous appointment, however, they have made, within 30 days, they have to fix a board meeting and they have to pass a board's resolution. Through that board's resolution, they have to appoint a cost auditor. So after appointing, within 30 days, they have to intimate it to the central government along with the board's resolution which has been passed. Okay. Now, yesterday one of my students have asked me in the telegram, ma'am, I have a doubt. Now, when the new cost auditor is being appointed, they will file the revised cost CRA2 form. Revised CRA2 form to the central government. Now, in this revised form, where will they write whether he is a reappointed person or whether whatever the reasons for removing that previous person, where they will write it down. Now, when the new person is being appointed, in this form CRA2, we have another point stating that whether the auditor is an individual, firm or LLP, whether it is a normal appointment, whether it is a reappointment, whether it is due to casual vacancy. So we have this point in form CRA2. So in this particular point, they will mention whether it is a normal appointment, whether it is a reappointment, whether it is a casual vacancy appointment. In that, they'll clearly state that. Now, the second thing is, after removing the previous auditor, the reasons for removing him, or if he has vacated the office, the reasons for that vacation, they will record in the board's resolution. In board's resolution, they will state all those reasons and then they will attach it to the form and then they will file it to the central government. I hope it is clear. And other attachments are also there. In that other attachments, if they want, they can also file the board's report in which all the details will be there. I hope it is clear. Now, the filing should be done electronically with the prescribed fees as per applicable rules. Conclusion, the new cost auditor must be appointed following the same procedure as the original appointment, ensuring compliance with the regulatory requirements. I hope it is clear. So, this is about the super question number 2. I hope everything is clear. Now, before moving on to the super question number 3, I want you to revise with me the question which we have discussed yesterday. Now, this question. Rule 6 cost audit we have discussed yesterday. In this, all the appointment procedures of a cost auditor are there. Okay. Now, appointment of a cost auditor. The company must appoint a cost auditor within 180 days from the commencement of a financial year. Appointment must be made by passing a board's resolution. The cost auditor must be a cost accountant in practice. He can be individual, firm or LLP. Next, after appointment, the company must inform the cost auditor about his or her appointment. The company must also obtain a written consent letter and a certificate from the cost auditor confirm the eligibility. Now, in this certificate, what all should be there? He or she is eligible and not disqualified. Appointment is within prescribed limits. Compliance with section 141, which deals about the qualifications, disqualifications and duties, and all information in the certificate is true and fair. I hope it is clear. Next, the company must file form CRA 2 to the central government, in which they will intimate about the appointment of a cost auditor. Time limit within 30 days of passing the board's resolution, or within 180 days of the commencement of financial year, whichever is earlier. Within this time limit, the company has to intimate it to the central government, and then this will be filed in electronical format and with a prescribed fees. Next, the cost auditor will stay in the office till the expiry of 180 days of closure of financial year, or till he or she files till he or she gives the cost audit report. Till the expiry of 180 days from the closure of financial year, or till he or she submits the cost audit report, whichever is earlier. Next, removal of cost auditor. Here I have added the points. You can see removal and resignation I have added. Okay. A cost auditor may be removed before the completion of term through a board's resolution. A reasonable opportunity of being heard must be given, and the board must record the reasons in writing. Now, after that, resignation. Can he resign from office? The answer is yes. The cost auditor has the right to resign from his or her office. Within 30 days from the resignation, auditor has to file a formal statement with the company as well as with the ROC, which is Registrar of Companies. In the form ADT3, he has to file it to the company that he is resigning from his office. If cost auditor fails to comply with the above provision, which means if he doesn't give a formal statement, then for non-compliance, the fine will be minimum of 50,000 rupees, which may go for a maximum amount of 2 lakh rupees. Okay. So here we have a penalty which you have to remember. Minimum 50,000 rupees, maximum 2 lakh rupees. Only fine, no imprisonment. If you are resigning from office, we will take you and put it in jail. No, only fine is there if he is not giving a formal statement. I hope it is clear. Now, the company must fill the casual vacancy due to resignation, death, removal, disqualification within 30 days. You already know that. Now, timeline. The cost auditor must submit the cost audit report in form CRA 3 within 180 days from the closure of financial year. The report must be duly signed, and the report should include reservations, observations, qualifications as well as suggestions. I hope it is clear. Now, after receipt of the report, the company is responsible to file it to the central government in form CRA 4 in XBRL format. Within 30 days from the receipt of cost audit report, they have to file it to the central government. I hope it is clear. Before filing CRA 4, the cost statements and audit report must be approved by the board of directors. CRA 4 must be digitally signed by a director. If there is a company secretary, then he shall also sign it. I hope it is clear. So this is all about the appointment, and here itself we have seen about the removal, resignation, and also filing it with the central government. I hope it is clear. Now here many students get confused. You have to remember, resignation formal statement will not be given to what we say central government. Okay. Resignation will not be filed to central government. It will be given to ROC, Registrar of Companies. I hope it is clear. I am stating that because one of my student has written it in the examination also. When auditor is resigning from office, he will give a formal statement to the central government. You are resigning from the post of a cost auditor for a company, not as a finance minister. Okay. So don't write that silly mistakes in the examination. You will lose higher marks. If you had a chance of losing 2 marks, with this point they will take 4 marks. Okay, don't do that. Now, super question number 3. This we have already revised in the previous question. Say the procedure of appointment and fixing of a remuneration. Rule 14, procedure of appointment and fixing of remuneration. In case of company which is required to constitute an audit committee, Audit committee will recommend, board will take the suggestions, board will appoint the cost auditor. The board shall appoint an individual who is a cost accountant in practice or a firm of cost accountants in practice as a cost auditor on the recommendations of audit committee, which shall also recommend the remuneration for such cost auditor. The remuneration recommended by the audit committee shall be considered and approved by the board of directors and ratified subsequently by the shareholders. In case of other companies which are not required to constitute an audit committee, the board shall appoint an individual who is a cost accountant in practice or a firm of cost accountants in practice as cost auditor, and the remuneration of such cost auditor shall be ratified by the shareholders subsequently. I hope this question is also clear. Is it clear so far? Qualifications, disqualifications, appointment, remuneration, removal, resignation. 6 concepts are covered so far. Is it clear? Whatever we have discussed so far, is it clear? Guys, are you there? Are you listening? Are you with me? Or are you in the back that you're watching the marathon but no one is there in the live? Is it clear? Pujita, yes ma'am. Only Pujita is listening the live, huh? No one is listening. Muskan, yes ma'am. Only girls are listening, I think. No, Namrata, yes, only girls are listening. Oh, Yashwant, clear ma'am. Nivedini, yes ma'am. Now majority girls are listening. Rajat, yes ma'am, clear. Raghava, yes ma'am. Keela Barfi, yes ma'am. Titan, yes madam. Balu, yes ma'am. Lakshmi Shah, yes ma'am. Nayak. Now only boys are giving the replies. Okay. Boys are majority now. Yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Okay, thank you. Now, moving on to the next question, super question number 4. Now we are moving on to rights and duties of cost auditor. Okay. Section 148, subsection 5 of Companies Act 2013, inter alia provides that rights and duties. Watching marathon, madam. Thank you. Section 148, subsection 5 of Companies Act 2013, inter alia provides that rights and duties as applicable to the auditor, which means the financial auditor, is also applicable to the cost auditor so far as may be applicable. Okay, whatever the provisions which are applicable to the financial auditor will equally be applicable to the cost auditor. That has been specified in section 148 subsection 5. Remember the sections. Please, my dears, remember the sections. These are the sections which are important. That's the reason I'm repeating it again and again. Okay. Now, coming to the rights of cost auditor. What are the rights of a cost auditor? Access to records and information. Arey bhai, you are being appointed as a cost auditor for doing the verification of cost records and cost information. If you doesn't have the right to get the access of that information, then what is the use of you being appointed? Yes or no? Now, you are coming to my class. If I am telling that you are not eligible to read my notes, is there any point there? No, because you are coming to listen to the class to take the notes. Now, I am telling you are not eligible to take the notes. Then why I will listen to your class? Right. So, same point here also. Access to records and information. Those are necessary documents for the cost auditor to do the verification. The cost auditor has the right to access all relevant cost records and other information necessary for the audit. Whatever information, if you think it is required for the audit, you have a right to access it. Next, assistance from the company. The company must provide all assistance and facilities required for the cost auditor to perform the audit. Whatever the cost auditor asks for, the assistance has to be given by the company. If they are asking for a BMW car, the company has to give BMW car. Yes or no? The answer is no. Only related to audit, if they need any assistance, that will be provided, not for luxury or personal purposes. Next, independence. The cost auditor must be independent of company's management, ensuring unbiased reporting. Now, The cost auditor will be appointed by the board of directors. Yes or no? Now, for example, I am one of the board member of a company, ABC Limited company. Now, I am the board member of a company. Now, I am appointing one from the chat box. Who can that be? The latest comment. Whose comment is that? Rohan. Okay, I'm appointing Rohan as a cost auditor of ABC Limited. I am one of the board member. I have given my vote for Rohan. Okay, now Rohan is appointed as a cost auditor for ABC Limited. Now, after appointment, Rohan is doing the verification, which I thought is not so good. Rohan is doing very fair verification. He's being so strict, asking all the records, all the information, and taking all accesses. Now, I am frustrated about it. I don't want my information to be disclosed. Now, what I am doing, I am going to the Rohan and saying, see Rohan, listen to me. You and me will be friends. Okay. So, you don't do that. You don't do this. Or if you do like this, your cost audit report will be good. Or do like that, management will support you in this way. They will give you one nice car, they'll give you a flat, they will give you whatever you want. I'll bring you some branded things from out countries. Everything I'll provide you, Rohan. So, be like this, be like that, follow this, follow that. I am giving some instructions from my side to Rohan. Now, what Rohan is telling us, no, I am not going to follow any of that. Do whatever you want is being told by Rohan. Now, as a board member, I am telling to the Rohan that, hello, excuse me, Rohan, I have appointed you. If I have a chance, I'll remove you as well. You have been appointed by me, which means you are under me. You are my employee. So, as an employer, whatever I am telling you, you have to follow that, Rohan. If I am telling that, then Rohan has a statement which he can call it as his right, stating that, hello, excuse me, Parvathi madam, you can be a board of director, you can become a member of board, but I have my own independence as a right. I need not follow any of your instructions. I need not listen to anything which you are stating. I can be an independent person. I have my own mind. Whatever I think it is right, I'll state it in the cost audit report. Okay, I hope it is clear. So that is called as an independence. Even the board of directors have appointed you, you doesn't have any obligation to listen to them. Whatever you need, whatever you think it is right, you can do that. The cost auditor must be independent of company's management, ensuring unbiased reporting. Next, reporting of a fraud. If fraud is suspected, the cost auditor has the right to report it to the central government for amount above the prescribed threshold, or to the audit committee or board for lesser amounts. Rule 13 of Companies Audit and Auditors Rules 2014. About this, I'll state you in a little while. Just remember that it is a right of reporting of fraud. Okay. Next, protection from liability. Section 143 subsection 13 provides protection from being deemed to have contravened duties if the auditor reports fraud in a good faith. About this also, I'll tell in a little while when we are discussing the next question, so that you will understand it very clearly. Okay. So far, what are the rights of a cost auditor? To have a complete access of records and information, to have the complete assistance from the company, independence, reporting of fraud, and protection from liability. All these are the rights of a cost auditor. I hope it is clear. Now, coming to the duties of a cost auditor. Compliance with standards. The cost auditor must comply with the cost accounting standards. That is a duty. Next, submission of a report. You are being appointed as a cost auditor to verify the statements and at last give a report. Now, if you are not giving a report, why we have to give you a payment? Yes or no? So, it is a duty of cost auditor to give the report. The cost auditor must submit the cost audit report to the board of directors. Next, in that report, the contents of report should be, the report must include confirmation that all necessary information and explanations are obtained. Now, whatever opinion you are stating as a cost auditor on the documents, I am stating that there is some misstatement. I am telling that everything is true and fair. Even if you are telling that the cost statements are correct, even if you are telling the cost statements are wrong, you need to have the necessary information and explanation. Nothing but these are the proofs for whatever opinion you are giving. Okay. So for opinion, there needs to be a verified data. There needs to be a valid proof. Confirmation that all the necessary information and explanations are obtained. Next, verification that proper cost accountants have been maintained as per Rule 5 of Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. Whatever cost records the management has been given, I have obtained that and I have verified that statement. Regarding that, it should be there in the report. Next, assurance that adequate returns from branches not visited were received, which means the cost auditor will be appointed for all units, and for whatever units or branches you have not visited, from that also you have obtained all the required information. Okay. Sorry, there was some technical glitch happening in my laptop. Now, assurance that adequate returns from branches not visited were received. After that, opinion on whether the books and records provide the information required by the Companies Act 2013. Whatever information required by Companies Act 2013 have been given in the books and records. Next, opinion on whether the company has an adequate internal audit system for cost records. Now, what is internal audit system? They have done the verification internally. Next, confirmation that the annexures to the cost audit report provide a true and fair view of cost related details. Whatever statements which are attached, whatever information data which is there in this cost audit report, all the cost audit report annexures are true and fair. Next, verification that the unit wise and product wise cost statements are properly kept by the company. Regarding all these things, verification, confirmation, or what we say, assurance, opinion has to be given by the cost auditor in his cost audit report. These are the contents of cost audit report. I hope it is clear. Next, reporting of fraud. This reporting of fraud is also a right as well as a duty of a cost auditor. So, if there is a fraud which has come across when he is conducting an audit, he can take that as a right and report it. If he is not taking it as an obligation, then it will become his obligation because it is a duty of him to report a fraud. I hope it is clear. The cost auditor must report any suspected fraud to the relevant authorities and ensure proper disclosure in the company's report if applicable. I hope it is clear. Next, timely reporting. When you will submit your cost audit report, whenever I want, I'll submit it. No, we have a deadline for that also. Within 180 days from the closure of financial year, you have to submit your cost audit report. If it is priorly also you can do that if you have completed your verification. The cost auditor must report their findings within the prescribed time limits and in the manner specified by the Companies Act and related rules. I hope it is clear. So, these are the duties of cost auditor. Compliance with the standards, submission of a report, contents of report, reporting fraud and timely reporting. I hope everything is clear. So, this is about the rights and duties. Now, in rights and duties, we have come across one point which is reporting of fraud. That concept we are going to learn from super question number 5. Okay. This is also a December 2025 mock question paper question. Super question number 5. Discuss duties of a cost auditor to report fraud as per section 143 of Companies Act 2013. If an auditor perform audit by relying on internal audit, this can be disclosed, ma'am. Yes, can be disclosed. Rajat, clear, ma'am. Now, super question number 5. Discuss duties of a cost auditor to report fraud as per section 143 of Companies Act 2013. According to section 143 subsection 12, in this particular question, subsection is very, very important. When subsection is important? When you are writing about 148 subsection 5, the subsection is important. Now, what did we see in 148 subsection 5? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? 148 subsection 5. Now, similarly here also, reporting of fraud has been stated in 143 subsection 12. You cannot write randomly 143 section. 143 subsection 12 you have to state. Okay. According to section 143 subsection 12 of Companies Act 2013, in the course of the performance of his duties as an auditor, has a reason to believe that offense of a fraud which involves or is expected to involve, which means he has a proof that this much amount is involved, or he is assuming that this much is involved, and for that assumption also he has a valid proof, expected to involve individually an amount of rupees 1 crore or more. Whatever the prescribed amount which we have read in the duties or rights, it is this 1 crore or above is being or has been committed in the company by its officers or employees, which means, listen carefully, I am repeating the sentence again. As per section 143 subsection 12, in the course of performance of his duties as an auditor, which means when he is working as an auditor, he has a reason to believe that offense of fraud has been committed that involves or is expected to involve the rupees of 1 crore or more, and who has conducted that, who has committed that fraud, it has been committed in the company by its officers or employees. Then the auditor shall report the matter to the central government within such time as it is prescribed and in such manner as it is prescribed. Okay. Now, if it is 1 crore or more, the auditor shall report the matter to the central government as under. First, the auditor shall report the matter to the board or the audit committee. If audit committee is there, he will report it to the audit committee. If audit committee is not there, he will report it to the board of directors. As the case may be, immediately, but not later than 2 days of his knowledge of the fraud. Seeking the reply or observation within 45 days. Okay. Within 45 days, he can wait for 45 days to get the reply. Now, on the receipt of such a reply or observation, the auditor shall forward his report and reply or observations of the board or audit committee, which means whatever proof he has collected, whatever opinion he has on the fraud, along with the reply which he has received from the board or audit committee, he will submit it to the central government within 50 days from the date of receipt of such reply or observation. Now, in the case of auditor fails to get any reply or observation from the board or audit committee within the stipulated period of 45 days, he shall forward his report to the central government along with a note containing that the details of his report that was earlierly forwarded to the board or the audit committee for which he has not received a reply or observation. Now, I'll give a clear thing to you. Rajat, if we don't remember the section in exam, can we start our answer with as per relevant section? Yes, you can. But don't always write it as per relevant section of Companies Act 2013. Wherever it is there, write it like that. Just you cannot write Companies Act 2013. You also have to write that it is from Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules or Companies Audit and Auditor Rules. Anything, you have to write it there. Ajay, sorry to disturb ma'am. Can this materials be provided to us after this session? Ajay, material has been already forwarded in the Telegram channel group. The Telegram channel group link is given in the chat box and also in the description box down below the video. So you can go to the description, join the channel, and there you can instantly download the notes. Available in Telegram, bro. Thank you, Titan. Okay. Now, cost auditor is there. Cost auditor has come across some kind of fraud which has been committed by its officers or employee of a company, and in the company they have committed the fraud. Okay. Now this officer or employee is that he has done some fraud elsewhere, which means he had done some robbery elsewhere. We are not concerned about. If they are committing fraud in the company and when they are working, where paper number 17 telegram group, yes, paper number 17 telegram group only, the link is given. Fraud has been committed by the officer or employee in the company, then, and the amount is more than 1 crore. Amount is more than 1 crore. Then what cost auditor can do is, first, within 2 days of coming across that particular fraud, he will intimate it to the board of directors, audit committee. If audit committee is there, he will tell to audit committee, or else he will tell to board of directors. After intimating it within 2 days, he will intimate it. After that, he will wait for their reply for 45 days. Okay, for 45 days, he will wait for the reply. Within 45 days, if board of directors audit committee has gave the reply, then within 15 days from getting that reply, what he will do? He will file that to the central government. What all he will file? Whatever the fraud which he has discovered, or along with the reply which has been received from the board of directors. 1 as well as 2. He will file it to the central government within 15 days. I hope it is clear. Now, if the fraud amount is more than 1 crore and the cost auditor has within 2 days has reported it to the audit committee and the board of directors, but within 45 days they haven't given any kind of reply, then after completion of this 45 days, within 15 days, he can directly report it to the central government. I hope it is clear. Now, if the cost auditor thinks that the fraud has been committed by the board of directors or the person from the audit committee only, he need not do any of this process but directly report it to the central government. Cost auditor has that power as well. I hope it is clear. So these are the points which we have discussed. Next, provided that in case of fraud involving lesser than the specified amount, which means less than 1 crore if it is there, then no need to report it to the central government. The auditor shall report the matter to the audit committee constituted under section 177 or the board in other cases immediately but not later than 2 days of his knowledge, specifying nature of fraud with a description, approximate amount involved and the parties involved. I hope it is clear. The following details of each of the fraud reported to the audit committee or the board under subsection 3 of rule 13 during the year shall be disclosed in the board's report. So, if board, whenever the cost auditor reports about the fraud to the board of directors have to give all this information in the board's report. Now, what all information they have to give? Nature of fraud with a description, approximate amount involved, parties involved, if remedial actions not taken, and what are the remedial actions taken. Regarding this, they have to give in the board's report. I hope it is clear. Next, provided further that the companies whose auditors have reported frauds under this subsection to the audit committee or board but not reported it to the central government shall disclose the details about such fraud in the board's report in such manner as may be prescribed. It does not apply if the auditor has acted in the good faith. If the auditor is very good and the auditor has reported it in the good faith, then need not be given in the board's report also. In the cost auditor, if the cost auditor, among others, does not comply with the provisions of subsection 12, then in case of a listed company, he will be liable for a penalty of 5 lakh rupees, which means he is not reporting a fraud. If it is a listed company, then the amount will be 5 lakh rupees. If it is the other company, then the liability of penalty will be 1 lakh rupees. If it is a minimum will be 5 lakhs, maximum Minimum in case of listed company will be 5 lakhs. Minimum in case of other company will be 1 lakh. Maximum can go up to 25 lakhs. I hope it is clear. Now this is about the reporting of fraud. I hope it is clear. Now reporting of fraud is both the right as well as a duty of a cost auditor. Now coming to this point, protection from liability is being given under section 143 subsection 13, which means if the cost auditor is there, cost auditor has come across a fraud and within 2 days he has intimated to the board of directors or the audit committee. He has waited for their reply. They didn't give any reply. Because they didn't give any reply, he directly reported to the central government without intimating it to the board of directors or audit committee. Now, is there any chance that board of directors or a person from audit committee come to the cost auditor and tell that you have to first intimate us before giving it to the central government, which means you are filing a report to the central government. Regarding that also you have to take permission from us. Can audit committee or board of directors can say that to the cost auditor? The answer is no. If cost auditor is doing the reporting to the central government without any intimation to the board of directors or audit committee in a good faith, then cost auditor is protected from liability under section 143 subsection 13. I hope it is clear. So these are the rights and duties of cost auditor. Is it clear? Rights and duties of cost auditor. Rights and duties, reporting of fraud. Is it clear? Very, very important. The MCQ can be tested from the fine part. Okay, penalty of non-reporting of fraud. Titan Gaming. Only Titan is there in the live. Why no one is replying? Nivedini, Ashokan. Clear, ma'am. What about others? Pujita, yes, ma'am. Kajendra, yes, ma'am. How to know what is the duty and what is the right? Is it about the reporting of fraud? Reporting is fraud is duty as well as a right. Which means if someone is coming and telling the cost auditor that how can you report a fraud without intimating to board of directors or the audit committee, then the cost auditor can tell that it's my right to report it. I can report it. Or if cost auditor is not reporting such that, then board of directors or audit committee can come and tell the cost auditor that it is your duty to report it. Why didn't you report it to us? So both the cases they can do it. If cost auditor is doing it, then no one can question him because it's his right. If cost auditor is not doing it, someone else can come and question the cost auditor because it's his duty to do it. I hope it's clear. Bhanu Teja, yes ma'am. Rajat, clear. Namrata, yes ma'am. Hitler, clear. Balu, clear. Aravind, clear. Yashwant, clear. Lakshmisha, yes ma'am. Okay. Now, we have completed the qualifications, disqualifications, appointment, remuneration, removal, resignation, rights, duties, reporting of fraud. All these concepts are clear. Can I attend all the 7 questions in exam? Yes, you can. Yes, you can attend all the 7 questions in the exam, but you have to state clearly which you have taken as a choice. Which means, for example, you know all the 7 questions and you have written all the 7 questions. In first page, you have written 2A, 2B, and then 3A, 3B, similarly 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All the questions you have written. Now, after completion, you thought that question number 4A and 4B, you haven't given it to be your best, But other questions, you have given your best. Then what you can do? You can write it as this is my choice 1. And then after that, you have to write something as your choice B. I hope it is clear. So you can take 2 choice. So which is your choice 1? You have to write it in the above. Choice A, choice B. You have to write it. And if your friends are telling you that don't write choice, if the evaluator thinks that if you are getting 7 marks in this question and 4 marks in this question, the evaluator will take 7 marks. No, no, no. Don't do that risk. Give the choice which you think you have written the best, because evaluator will either take 4 or 7. You didn't tell which is your choice, right? If they are good-hearted people, they'll take 7. If they are bad-hearted people, they'll take 4. Don't believe all that. Ma'am, please share compiled material PDF. Balu, yes, I am trying to complete the PDF, but it's not happening because I am segregating the questions, I'm highlighting the points, I am giving it in such a way that you have to write it in the examination. I'm doing all that because it's taking a time. But yes, as early as possible, I'll complete it and I'll share it to you so that you can take the printout and start revising. Okay. Till then, you need not wait because that's the reason I've shared it in the Telegram channel. As a soft copy, revise it only for 2 days. Okay. Adjust with the soft copy and revise it. Yes, ma'am, clear. Muskan, अगर बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स और ऑडिट कमेटी ने फ्रॉड किया है तो उनके केस में भी ऑडिट 2 दिन में ही सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को रिपोर्ट करेगा. नहीं, 2 दिन में नहीं कर पाएगा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को. अगर वही चीज है तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को 45 डेज या 30 डेज के अंदर रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए. If he has a chance of reporting directly to the central government within 2 days, then he can do so. But there isn't that chance. Easily we can't report it to the central government. So it will at least take 15 days for the completion of entire procedure to report it to the central government. So he can do as early as possible. He have to report it. I hope it is clear, Muskan. Okay. I hope all the questions so far, whatever discussed, is clear. Now, super question number 6. Can a cost accountant be appointed as a key managerial person or as an independent director as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013? Shrikant, thank you, ma'am. For what reason you are giving thank you, Shrikant? Why you are saying thank you? Because you have understood the question? Or because of this marathon? Or because I've shared the notes? Okay. Now, for this, I'm opening my capsule notes. Don't think that ma'am told that ma'am will use only one material and now she's taking a capsule notes. Just because to show you from which question or which topic that has been tested. Whom will be contact point? What does that mean? Whom will be the contact point? I didn't get you, Murugan. Which means how they will connect it to the central government. We have something called as MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal. So through that they will connect it to the central government. Whatever the filings they are doing, the cost audit report filings or any filings which are being done by the company to the government, everything will be done through MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal. I hope it is clear. Now, here, the next super question. A cost accountant can be appointed as a key managerial person or an independent director has been tested from this particular concept. Strategic positions which can be attained by a cost accountant. Now, what all strategic positions can be attained by a cost accountant? Either a cost accountant can become a KMP, which is key managerial person. He can become an independent director. He can become a technical member of a tribunal. He can become a technical member of appellate tribunal. He he can become a company liquidator, he can appear before the tribunal, he can become a register valuer, he can become an expert, he can be an administrator, he can be a person in mediation and conciliation panel. Okay, I'm not taking in detail of this particular concept, but yes, all these positions can be attained by a cost accountant. If you want the in detail explanation of this, I guess I have discussed in it's in Superthon. So in Superthon video, you can find this explanation. Okay. Now, one of the question which has been tested is cost accountant to be appointed as a key managerial person or an independent director. Can they be appointed? The answer is yes, because it is given in this particular concept. They can be appointed as a KMP. They can be appointed as an independent director. Now, to appoint as a key managerial person, what they have to satisfy? As per section 203 of Companies Act 2013, the following are considered as a key managerial person. Whom all? Managing director, chief executive officer or a manager. And in their absence, the old-time director, company secretary, chief financial officer. All are considered as key managerial personnel. A cost accountant can become a KMP due to their expertise in the cost management, financial analysis and regulatory compliance. They are well suited for the roles like CFO or even a managerial position based on their experience. So based on their experience, if they are eligible to become as a KMP, they can become a KMP. I hope it is clear. Now, cost accountant as an independent director, yes, they can become, they have to satisfy all the provisions which are given for the independent director. As per section 149 subsection 4 of Companies Act 2013, every listed public company must have at least 1/3 of its directors as independent directors. Rule 5 of Companies Appointment and Qualification of Director, Rules 2014, specifies that an independent director must have skills, experience, knowledge in finance, law, management, sales, marketing, administration, research, corporate governance, technical operations, or other related fields. He has to have experience in all these fields. If a cost accountant is having an experience in all this, and if there is a chance of appointing him as an independent director, which means at least 1/3 of directors are available to be appointed, then he can be appointed as an independent director. A cost accountant with expertise in finance, corporate governance, cost management qualifies to be an independent director as per these provisions. Conclusion: a cost accountant can hold key managerial position and independent directorship, making them valuable assets to corporate governance and financial leadership. So this is how you can write the answer. Now, many students have asked me, ma'am, can we write about the KMP concept and independent director concept which is there in the law? If you have clear-cut idea about section 149 and section 203, you can write it down. Okay, if you want 7 marks full and fully, and if you have time, write the concepts of KMP and independent director. Okay, I hope it is clear. So this is from the strategic positions topic. So that topic also important. Now, super question number 7. Write a short note on code of professional ethics which need to be followed in the field of cost and management accounting. Or the question can be tested as cost accountants are bound by certain professional ethics and requested to observe some fundamental principles that will have to be followed by a cost accountant. So what are the professional ethics which has to be followed? Regarding that, a question is there. So we'll see what it is. As professionals in the field of cost and management accounting, the members of our institute are bound by code of professional ethics, which means you are becoming a cost and management accountants under an institute which is very reputed institute. So you are bound under the code of professional ethics, which means you have to follow some ethics in your profession. This code stipulates and binds them to the highest level of care, duty and responsibility to their employees and clients, the public and their fellow professionals. Raghava, independent director, one or more fields or all fields mentioned above shall have expertise, knowledge and skill. One or more fields, not all the fields, one or more fields. If they have expertise in any of that thing, then they can become an independent director. Now, professionals in the field of cost and management accounting, the members of institute are bound by a code of professional ethics. This code stipulates and binds them to the highest level of care, duty and responsibility towards their employees and clients and the public and their fellow professionals, so that you will act as a professional with your clients, with your employees and with everyone, so that we have a code of professional ethics. The objectives of accountancy profession are to work to the highest standards of professionalism, to attain the highest level of performance and generally to meet the public interest requirements. What is the reason for bringing this code of professional ethics? So that you will meet your highest standards of professionalism, which means you will have all the dignity which you should have as a professional, as a CMA professional. What all dignity you have to attain, you will be attaining, because you have this code of professional ethics which are mandatorily have to be followed by you. And also to meet the general public interest requirements. See, for example, when you have, I guess many of you would have experienced this. If one of your relatives who doesn't have any knowledge about CA, CMA or CS professional courses, if you are going to any family function and someone is coming and asking you, Babu, what you're doing? Or Papa, what you're doing? And now you are telling them that I am a CA finalist, or I am pursuing my CA, I'm pursuing my CMA, I'm CMA finalist, or I'm pursuing my CS. Now, if they have the idea about one such course which is called as a CA, CMA, if they doesn't know that, they'll ask, okay, what is CMA? They'll ask. If they know about something, they'll give an expression. Oh, CA, oh, CMA, oh, CS. They'll give that expression. No. Now, what is that expression means? Which means you have that public interest requirement, which means someone who doesn't have the knowledge about that profession also, with just the name of CA, CMA and CS, they are putting you in that highest position, right? So that is the power of position or the professionalism which you have as a CMA. So to attain that, we have this code of professional ethics. These objectives require 4 basic needs to be met. So whoever this professional person is there, they have to follow these objectives. This is the objective of a profession. What are? First, credibility, ensuring trust in information and information system. Now, for example, if you are going and telling to your one of your family member has come to you and asking you about some taxation provisions. Okay, he's coming to you and asking about taxation provisions. He's stating that, oh, tax is getting huge day by day, tax is becoming this, tax is becoming that. How can I do that? Now, as a professional, what you can do? You can advise them that this is about the tax, this is what it is, and you can claim some deductions. You have this kind of provisions which you can do that. And if you are going for an immovable property, then these are the provisions which we have. I have read that. So you can give your inputs to them. Now, when you are giving that inputs, if you doesn't know about the provision, if you do the blabbering of that provision, you will state them whatever you want. If you're doing that, then you're dumb. Okay, don't do that, because we have an objective of having a credibility in our profession. Whatever we are stating, the facts should be true, that the other person will trust the information and the information system. I hope it is clear. Next, professionalism, gaining recognition from employers, clients and other as a trusted professionals, which means your client is coming to you for doing their taxation or for doing their company registrations and all. You are a cost accountant who is in practice. Okay, you are in a practice and your client is coming to you. You are giving your work in the fullest 100%. You are giving the bestest work to your client. Now, what will client think? Client will be impressed. Yes or no? Now, similarly, whoever your employees are there, you are being so good and acting in a professional manner to your employees. Now here what happening is you are maintaining your professionalism, which means other people are taking you as an inspiration. Okay, my employer is this. Okay, my whoever the auditor is there, he'll take care of everything. My auditor will do the best work. So among your employees, among your clients, and among your trusted professionals, you are gaining that recognition as a best professional. Next, quality of service, providing high standards of performance. Whatever work you are doing it to the best. Confidence in ethics, establishing trust through a framework of ethical standards governing the provision of services, which means when you are providing the service either to your employees, clients, or any other person, if you are providing a service, you are maintaining your confidence in ethics, which means I will do this only, I will not do these kind of activities, which means even as a human being, you will have some ethics, right? If someone comes to you, gives a knife in your hand and tell the other person to kill, will you kill? Randomly one person is coming, he is giving you some knife or some sharp object and he is telling to go kill that person. Will you go and kill that person? No. You'll tell that, no, I'll not do that. Why I have to do that? No, you should also not kill the person. You'll tell them or not tell them? You'll tell them. Why you are doing that? Just go and kill the other person. No. Because you have ethics in you. Similarly, when you are doing a work, in the professional work also, you'll have some professional ethics. So you have to be confident in your ethics. If one person is coming to you and telling that, okay, do some adjustments, what will happen? Some 10,000, what we say, reconciliation is not there. Some 10,000 fraud is there. Okay, adjust that 10,000. What will happen? No. You have to be confident in your ethics. You should tell, no, I will not do that. Give the information for 10,000 rupees, only then I'll report it. Other than I'll state that something fraud has happened in this particular record. Okay, so be confident in ethics. So all these four are the objectives of accountancy profession. What are those? Credibility, professionalism, quality of service, and confidence in ethics. Now next, fundamental principles. To meet these objectives, cost accountants must adhere to the following principles. So these are the fundamental principles. What are those? First is integrity. Be straightforward, honest, and truthful in all the professional services. Next, objectivity. Ensure fairness and impartiality, avoiding prejudice, bias, or undue influence from others. Whatever work you are doing, do it as an independent person. Don't rely on someone's sayings and do that work. No. Objectivity. Ensure fairness and impartiality. Next is competence. Provide services only when you are competent enough, which means if you know about that, do that work. If you doesn't know that, then either you go and learn it from your seniors and then do the work, or else you state it as, no, I don't know this work, so I'll not do it. If you're competent to do so, then take up the work. If you're not competent to do so, either prepare yourself to be a competent person or else don't do the work. If needed, seek advice and assistance to ensure quality and satisfaction. Next is confidentiality. Respect confidentiality and not disclose any information obtained in the course of professional work unless legally or professionally required. If some police officer is coming, if some government officials are coming and asking you about the confidential information, then you can share it. Other than that, some random person is coming to you and asking you, you need not share it because you have to maintain confidentiality. I hope it is clear. Next is professional behavior. Act in a manner that maintains and enhances the reputation of profession. Not only in your work, but even outside of your work, you have to be in a professional behavior. I hope it is clear. So these are the fundamental principles: integrity, objectivity, competence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. So these are the code of professional ethics and fundamental principles. I hope it is clear. So far, whatever we have discussed, everything is clear? Is everything clear? Sweet. How much sweet you are? Sorry, just for fun. Yesterday after day 1 class, I also referred Smart 25 practical questions which you uploaded 5 months ago. It's sufficient for practical questions. Yes, for conceptual clarity, that's enough. For practicing more, I'll share another PDF which you can practice. Yes, bro, it is enough for practical questions. Good. Well done, Titan. Yes, ma'am. Clear. Pujita. Yes, ma'am. Namrata. Yes. Janardhan. Yes, ma'am. Bhanuteja. Yes, ma'am. Nivedini. Clear. Why only this 10 members are there in the chat box? Why no one is there in the chat box? Don't you know English for chatting? It's okay. I know Telugu. You can chat in Telugu. I know Tamil. You can chat in Tamil. I know Hindi. You can chat in Hindi. Whatever language you are convenient, you can chat. But you are not replying only. Ma'am, remaining PDF will be shared, Santosh Kumar. Be rest assured. As early as possible, I'll finish the PDF and share it to you so that you can take the printout. Okay? Will be shared. Titan, అర్థమైంది ma'am. Okay? Now, next. What about Marathi, ma'am? I don't know Marathi, Namrata. Sweet, baga అర్థమైంది ma'am. I don't know Marathi, Namrata. I'm sorry about it. You tell me in the comment section how to ask. Is that understood? I guess it will be so long. Just tell me in Marathi how you say hello or how you greet people. We'll learn. Gaurav, very helpful class. Thank you, Gaurav. Oh, hearts are. Okay, emojis. Hearts are coming. Thank you. Okay, those students who doesn't want to give the comments in the chat box, they are giving emojis. I guess that's the reason. You don't want to chat so that you are giving emojis. Bharat, yes ma'am. I know. Now, smart question number 1. Mr. P. Swami, the cost auditor of PQR Limited for the financial year 2016 and 17 was offered an assignment of investment consultant of RST Limited, a subsidiary of PQR Limited for the same financial year. Whether the acceptance of assignment amounts to violation of law and professional misconduct, what are the penal provisions, if any? So, now, where did this question come from? We have something called as professional misconduct. Okay, we have something called as professional misconduct, and for that we have schedules also. For this also, I'm opening my capsule. Now, whatever the main motto of this particular marathon is that whatever material you're using, either you may be using my material, my notes, or either you have followed the other material also, you have to be okay about the concepts. Okay, so even I am taking this particular capsule notes here, you will be okay. In every book this concept will be there because this is an important concept. Even in your ICMAI material you can see this. Professional and other misconduct. Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959 has given us some schedules to the act. Now, what are those schedules? We have 2 schedules. First is first schedule and second is second schedule. Wow, great. First is first schedule, second is second schedule. Simple. Now, in first schedule, we have 4 parts. Okay, in first schedule, we have how many parts? 4 parts. Part 1 talks about professional misconduct in relation to cost accountants in practice, which means if you are a cost accountant who is doing practice and then if you have committed some acts, then it is called as a professional misconduct. Second, relation to members of institute in service, which means you are a member of institute and you are in a service. Then if you are doing some acts, then those acts will be called as a professional misconduct. Then part 3, professional misconduct in relation to members of institute generally, which means either you can be in service, either you can be in practice. If you are doing some acts, then it is a professional misconduct. Then part 4, other misconduct in relation to members of institute generally, which means either you can be a employee or either you can be in a practice. But it is not related to professional, but it is related to society. Societally, if we are doing any acts, then it is called as a other misconduct. I hope it is clear. Next is second schedule. In second schedule, we have 3 parts. Part 1, professional misconduct in relation to cost accountants in practice. You are a cost accountant in a practice doing certain acts, professional misconduct. Next, part 2, professional misconduct in relation to members of institute generally. You are a member of institute generally, you are doing some acts, it is a professional misconduct. Then, part 3, other misconduct in relation to members of institute generally. So, part 3 of second schedule and part 4 of first schedule talks about other misconduct. Other than that, all the parts talks about professional misconduct. I hope it is clear. Now, coming to this particular professional misconduct concept, it was a very important concept in 2016 syllabus. Okay, in 2016 syllabus, this was very important concept. MCQs were frequently been tested and also a theory question has been asked in 2016 syllabus. But coming to 2022 syllabus, MCQ has also gotten very less. Theory question, they aren't only testing the theory question. But why we have to take a chance to have included those questions as well? Because this used to be a very important topic and still I feel that this is a very important topic. As a student of CMA, you have to know that this you have to do and this you have to not do. So I guess this is an important concept. So I have included the questions. Okay. Now, Mr. P. Swami, the cost auditor of PQR Limited, was offered an assignment of investment consultant of RST Limited, a subsidiary company of PQR Limited, for the same financial year. Now, coming to this particular work, investment consultant. When we were seeing disqualifications, I told you that there is a section called as section 144 which talks about specialized services. Okay, it talks about specialized services, and here we have something called as investment advisory services, investment banking services. Yes or no? Now here Mr. P. Swami, who is a cost auditor of PQR Limited, is providing investment consultant services for other company, which is RST Limited. This RST Limited is a subsidiary of PQR Limited, which means on the date of appointment, you should not provide 144 specialized services to your company, to your subsidiary company, to your associate company, to your subsidiary of holding company, any company which is related to the company. You should not provide the services. Or else, if you are a cost auditor, if you have appointed as a cost auditor, and after that, if you are providing the services, then you will be disqualified and you have to vacate the office. So, similarly, this is called as a professional misconduct. You need not do that work. Okay. But this is given in the professional misconduct. In which schedule it is given, you have to mention that very clearly. Whether the acceptance of assignment amounts to violation of law and professional misconduct, the answer is yes. Now, if for example, this question has been tested in your examination, don't start your answer with yes, it is called as a professional misconduct. No, it is not a professional misconduct. Don't start your answer with yes or no. Ineligibility of a cost auditor, section 141 of Companies Act 2013 and Companies Audit and Auditors Rules 2014. A cost auditor cannot accept consulting or specialized service assignments from a company or its subsidiary while serving as a cost auditor. Accepting such assignments violates independence and creates a conflict of interest. So, it is a professional misconduct. I hope it is clear. Next, what are the penal provisions, if any? If an auditor violates provisions of Companies Act 2013, then the penalty will be minimum 25,000 to 5 lakh rupees if done knowingly or with intent to deceive. Then the punishment, imprisonment up to 1 year plus fine of 1 lakh to 25 lakhs, liability, refund of remuneration, payment of damages to affected parties. So this will be the penal provisions. If convicted for an offence punishable with imprisonment exceeding 6 months, the cost accountant is deemed guilty of other misconduct. Now, when I am telling this, I told you that in first schedule, part 4, it is other misconduct, and in second schedule, part 3, it is other misconduct. Right. So here, a question has been skipped. Now, in first schedule and second schedule, there is a term called as other misconduct. Now, what is called as an other misconduct? There is a question. Other misconduct, disrepute and criminal conviction. This has been given in part 4 of first schedule and part 3 of second schedule. A member of ICMAI, whether in practice or not, is guilty of misconduct if held guilty by a civil or criminal court for an offence punishable with an imprisonment to 6 months, which means if it is less than 6 months, it is other misconduct. Sorry, if it is more than 6 months, then it is other misconduct as per part 4 of first schedule. Held guilty for an offence exceeding 6 months of imprisonment. Part 3, second schedule. Acts in a way that brings disrepute to the profession. In any way, you are acting something that is bringing disrepute to the profession. Then, in all these cases, it is called as an other misconduct. I hope it is clear. Okay. More than 6 months, second schedule. Less than 6 months, first schedule. I hope it is clear. And bringing disrepute to the profession, first schedule. I hope it is clear. Conclusion, cost auditor must maintain independence, ethical conduct and compliance with laws. Violations results in severe penalties, fines, imprisonment and reputational damage. So he has to comply with everything, or else there will be penalty, or even there will be a reputational damage. I hope it is clear. Oh, namaskar. Tumi kaise ahat? I hope it is correct. Okay, tumhi kaise ahat? Which means aap kaise ho? Oh, great. Smart question 2. Okay, we are moving on to smart question 2. A firm of cost accountants was appointed by a company to evaluate the cost of various products manufactured by it for its information system. One of the partner of a firm was a non-executive director of a company. Is it permissible? You tell me, is it permissible? A firm of cost accountants was appointed by a company to evaluate the cost of various products manufactured by it for its information system. One of the partner of the firm was a non-executive director of a company. A person cannot become a person who is an employee or partner or a director or acting in a position of a director or KMP cannot be appointed as a cost auditor. Yes or no? But they didn't disclose that fact and they have been appointed. Then it is a professional misconduct. Professional misconduct, conflict of interest. As per clause 4 of part 1 of second schedule, you need not to write the clause, you need not to remember the point in which it is there, but you have to write it is from part 1, second schedule. To the Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959, a cost accountant in practice is guilty of professional misconduct if he expresses an opinion on cost or pricing of a business where he, his firm or a partner has a substantial interest unless disclosed in the report, which means you are a non-executive director of a company. Without disclosing the fact, you are becoming a cost auditor, which means you are not expressing the substantial interest and expressing an opinion on cost or pricing statements of a business It is a professional misconduct as per second schedule part 1. I hope it is clear. Now, a cost auditor has reported fraud to the company as required under section 143. What disclosures are to be made by the company in its board's report? We have already seen that in reporting of fraud, nature of fraud, approximate amount involved, parties involved, remedial actions taken. If an auditor, including cost auditor, suspects fraud, then he must immediately report it to Board of Directors, Audit Committee, Central Government as applicable. Rule 13 of Companies Audit and Auditors Rules 2014 requires detailed disclosure in board's report about all these things. I hope it is clear. Now, coming to smart question number 3. Mr. X, the cost auditor of a company, contributes articles in various papers or journals discussing matters of professional interest. In the course of such discussion, he mentions various data which also include some vital but unpublished data relating to its client's company without its tacit approval. State whether there is punishment, if any, of the cost auditor for such contravention. Now, what's happening is you are a cost auditor and you prepare some papers and journals in which you have to disclose some kind of information. And while doing these disclosures, at one point of time, you have disclosed some vital, confidential and unpublished information of an entity, which is nothing but a confidential information. Now, if you are disclosing some confidential information of a client without taking the approval from the client, it is a professional misconduct. According to part 1 of second schedule. Part 1 second schedule prohibits a CMA in practice from disclosing client's information without consent. When that can be done? This obligation, if it is required by law, then you can do that. If it is not required by law, but for your own personal purposes, you are disclosing the confidential information, it is a professional misconduct. This obligation continues even after assignment completion. In the given case, Mr. X disclosed vital client information without consent, even if it's industrious benefit. This constitutes professional misconduct under Part 1, second schedule. Next, the member of institute, whether in practice or not, is liable for disciplinary action if he or she is found guilty of professional and other misconduct. Explain the term other misconduct. Whatever we have discussed here, what does it mean by other misconduct? Part 4 first schedule states the member is guilty of misconduct if found guilty by a civil or criminal court for an offence punishable by imprisonment up to 6 months, which means less than or equal to 6 months. Their actions, whether professional or personal, bring disrepute to the profession or institute. Which means if they are doing something which bringing disrepute to the profession, or if they are imprisoned for less than 6 months, it is part 4 first schedule. If the imprisonment is more than 6 months, part 3 second schedule. Okay, and here you have to compulsorily state it is a civil or criminal court offence. I hope it is clear. Now, smart question 4. Explain whether the following activities amount to professional misconduct on the part of cost accountant. Mr. Arun, a CMA, is working as a manager of cost accounts of PQR Limited. He accepts 10% of profits from his friend, who is Mr. Raju, a lawyer and a legal consultant for PQR Limited. He is doing the job on a retainership basis, which means there are 3 people here, who is Arun, who is Raju, and both Arun and Raju are working for the same company, which is PQR Limited. Okay, Arun is a CMA, cost and management accountant, and whereas Raju is a lawyer. Raju is a lawyer. Now, from Raju, Arun is taking 10% of his profits. 10% of his profits. Is it is professional misconduct or not? Yes, it is professional misconduct as per first schedule part 2. Now for this, definitely you have to learn all the points which are there in this particular. See, here only for this point I'm taking this, accepting commission or gratification. If a member accepts or agrees to accept any portion of fees, profits or gains from whom? From a lawyer, cost accountant, broker engaged by the company, firm or a person, or who is an agent or the customer of a company, firm, person by way of commission or gratification. So a company is there. For that company, some other person is working as a lawyer, as a cost accountant, as a broker, as an agent, or is a customer. From all these 5 people, you cannot receive any share of profits, any share of commission, gratification, or any gains, or any fees, nothing. You cannot accept anything. If you are accepting it, then it is a professional misconduct according to part 2 of first schedule. I hope it is clear. Part 2 first schedule prohibits a cost accountant in service from accepting fees, profits or commission from the lawyer, broker, agent associated with their company. Mr. Arun, manager cost accountant of PQR Limited, accepted 10% of profits from Mr. Raju, the company's legal consultant. This amounts to professional misconduct as per part 2 first schedule. I hope it is clear. Now, Mr. S, a CMA in practice, certifies the cost and pricing statements of manufacturing of pipes for the supply relating to the contract. The statement is prepared by Mr. T, who is not a CMA or employee of Mr. S. Now here this is given in second schedule part 1. Okay, in second schedule part 1 there is one clause which states that if you are a CMA, then you have to approve, which means you have to give the signature in a document only if that particular document is verified by you or your employee or your partner. Okay, if the document or that record hasn't been verified by you, your employee or your partner, but done by a third party, then you can't give your opinion or signature on that particular statement. If you have done that, then it is a professional misconduct. So this is a point which is there in second schedule part 1. Okay. Misconduct by a cost accountant in practice. Part 1 second schedule states that a CMA in practice must not certify or submit cost statements unless prepared by himself or from his partner or by his employee or any other practicing CMA. Mr. S certified a cost statement prepared by Mr. T, who is neither CMA nor his employee nor his partner. This constitutes professional misconduct under part 1 second schedule. I hope it is clear. This is how you have to present your answer. First you have to write the from where it is there. Next you have to write the provision. Next you have to write what is given in the question. And then you will write the conclusion. Yes, this is the professional misconduct. So this is the way of writing the answer if this question has been tested. Ma'am, can you give break for 5 to 10 minutes? Yes, will be given after completion of 2 questions. Okay, there are more 3 questions, smart questions. After completion of these 3 questions, break will be given. Now, smart question number 5. ఈ షెడ్యూల్స్ ఎగ్జామ్ లో రాయమని అడుగుతారా లేదా అప్లికేషన్ ఫామ్ లో అడుగుతారా? ఏంటి అప్లికేషన్ ఫామ్ లో అడగడం ఏంటి నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు. ఎగ్జామ్ లో క్వశ్చన్ వస్తే రాయాలి, అప్లికేషన్ ఫామ్ ఏంటి? सुपर क्लास के लिए डायरी मिल्क सिल्क आपको कहाँ है? डायरी मिल्क सिल्क मुझे कुछ नहीं मिला, ऑर्डर कर दो घर को. I'm just kidding. Titan, I didn't understand you. If this has been tested in examination, you have to write it. Now, smart question 5. Mr. Arun Maya, a practicing cost accountant, engaged 2 trainees undergoing training under his guidance for audit job. Okay. Since the job was voluminous, which means it was huge, he agreed to pay them in addition to stipend an amount of 10% of audit fees. Does the action of Mr. Arun Maya amount to professional misconduct? The answer is yes, according to Part 1, first schedule, which states that CMA cannot share his profits. He can only share the profits or his salary to the other CMA or to his partner. Other than that, he cannot share it with anyone else. Okay. Sharing fees or profits. A cost accountant cannot agree to pay or allow sharing of fees, commission, brokerage to any other than a member of institute, partner, retired partner, or legal representative of a deceased partner. Now, here in this question, they told that there are trainees working under the CMA. For trainees, he can share the profits? The answer is no, it is a professional misconduct. Prohibits a cost accountant in practice from paying or allowing any share, commission, or brokerage in professional fees or profits. Exception. Payments can be made only to a member of institute, to a partner, to a retired partner, or to a legal representative of a deceased partner. Only to these 4 people, the profits can be shared. I hope it is clear. Implication: paying trainees a percentage of audit fees considered as a professional misconduct. However, a lump sum stipend can be paid to trainees as necessary. If you want to increase the stipend, don't give it from the profits. Now, smart question 6. ABC Limited changed its stock valuation policy from FIFO method to average cost method in the financial year 2018 and 19. As a result, to its profit of company was inflated by 25 lakh rupees. The change in policy and the fact of additional gain were not disclosed by the company nor the cost auditor. In the audit report, state whether the cost auditor is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct. The answer is yes. He is guilty of professional misconduct because he did not disclose the material information, which is very much important for decision making purpose. Okay, so this is a material statement. He did not disclose a vital material information, which is given under part 1 of second schedule. Okay. Failure to disclose material facts, lack of due diligence, or grossly negligent. You can apply both this. If willfully, if he doesn't report it or give the information in the audit report, then failure to disclosure of material facts. Then if he didn't know about it to disclose it, or he was so negligent, we can apply this. Okay. A cost accountant in practice is guilty of misconduct if he fails to disclose material facts in cost or pricing statement that should be disclosed, is grossly negligent or does not exercise due diligence, fail to highlight the material departures from standard costing and pricing procedures. So all these 3 points are given in part 1 second schedule. We can apply any of these 3 points for the first question. I hope it is clear. Next. In the course of performance of his duties, some fraud against the auditee committee gets disclosed to the cost auditor. What is the punishment to the cost auditor for failing to report it to the authority within prescribed time? Do the reporting of fraud has to be done by the cost auditor? The answer is yes. In which section it is given? 143 subsection 12 it is stated. Now, if he doesn't do that, is there a punishment? The answer is yes. Reporting of fraud. Section 143 subsection 13 protects auditors from liability if they report fraud in good faith. Penalty for non-compliance, fine 1 lakh to 25 lakhs for failure to report fraud. I told you if it is a listed company, the fine will be more than 5 lakh rupees. If it is other company, the fine will be 1 lakh rupees. Both this 5 lakh and 1 lakh are minimum. The fine can be extended, which is maximum fine can be 25 lakh rupees. I hope it is clear. Now, Our last question from cost auditor topic, which is smart question number 7. Enumerate the various omissions that might arise in rendering audit services to its clients by a cost accountant in practice, which can make him guilty of professional misconduct as laid in the second schedule. In second schedule, what all points which are there as per professional misconduct? State that. Now, part 1, second schedule, we have these points. First, failure to report material misstatements in cost or pricing statements despite being aware of them. You know that it is material, even though you are not stating it. Second, neglects due diligence. You know you have to work properly, but you are neglecting it. Grossly negligent while performing personal duties. Fails to obtain sufficient information necessary for expressing an opinion or gives an opinion without a proper basis, which means you didn't check everything. You does not have a verified data. Just in a sake of you have to give a report, you have done the robo analysis and you have given it. Then it is a professional misconduct. Ignores material departures from generally accepted cost and pricing procedures applicable to the case. Standards didn't follow, you have neglected it. Procedures to be followed, you have neglected it. Generally accepted procedures are deviated, you have neglected it. Professional misconduct. Mismanages clients' funds, such as not keeping clients' money in a separate bank account or misusing clients' funds. If client is giving you funds, either deposit in a separate bank account or you have to use it for a specific intended purpose within the time which has been told by the client, or else you have to keep it safe with you. You should not use it for your personal purposes. If any of these 3 things you haven't done properly, professional misconduct. Conclusion, any of these acts or omission can lead to disciplinary action under the Cost and Work Accountants Act 1959. So I hope it is clear. So all these questions related to professional and other misconduct have been tested in 2016 syllabus, but in 2022 syllabus these are not very frequent questions are being asked, but who knows, in December 2025 there can be a question from professional misconduct, as this was way more important topic in 2016. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So these are the concepts which are very, very important from the point of view of Unit 3 Cost Auditor. So far what all topics we have covered. From the start, qualifications, disqualifications, appointment, remuneration, removal, resignation, rights and duties, a duty to report fraud, and then strategic positions, and then professional and other misconduct, and then code of professional ethics. Okay, all these concepts we have covered in this duration of, we have started in 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 2.5 hours we have completed cost auditor. 2 hours 20 minutes. Okay, I hope everything is clear. So our unit 3 cost auditor is completed, and in this unit 3 we have, I guess, 7 super questions. Yeah, 7 super questions and 7 smart questions completed. I hope everything is clear to you. Ma'am, can you tell penalties for section 24 to 29? Raghav, those are not important. 24 to 29 penalties are not important, haven't been tested so far in the examination. Even if it is asked, rarely tested in the MCQs. Not so frequently also tested in MCQs. So those are not important concepts. If you want, in the Telegram channel, I can share my notes. See, penalties under the Act 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I have it in my notes, but these are not so important. Haven't tested so far. If you want to revise it, you can revise it. मैम if possible है ना तो वो XBRL वाला chapter last में करवा देना please. मैम and if possible to exam oriented batch का one chapter वो release हो सके तो cost audit अच्छे से हो जाएगा. Cost audit documentation preparation and cost audit documentation XBRL wala topic. If possible, I'll take, if there is a time at last, we'll take that topic, or else I'll give a revision video for that particular topic. Okay, no need to worry, XBRL wala topic ho jayega. Raghava, okay ma'am, thanks. Okay, I guess everything is clear so far from the unit of cost auditor. We'll take a break for 5 minutes. 5:30 we'll resume it. 5:30 to 6:30 and 7, 1.5 hours. We'll try to cover whatever we have from the cost accounting standards and GESA. Okay. If not, the session might extend to another 20 minutes. Okay. Don't feel bad. Okay. We'll take a break and then again we'll start from 5:30. I'm not going to stop the live. Live will be there. Okay, guys, are you ready? We'll start a Unit 4 overview of cost accounting standards and GAAP GASAP generally accepted cost accounting principles. Titan, namaste. Namaste. Shall we start? Guys, are you there? Did you come back from break? Or are you still eating your snacks? Went for putting chai, madam. Wait for 2 minutes. Titan gaming, yes, ma'am. For what? Went to putting chai. Pujita, yes, ma'am. Oh, you're ready, huh? Okay. Muskan, ready, madam. Nivedini, yes, ma'am. Why Nivedini message deleted? Nivedini, you're not ready, huh? Okay. Okay. We'll start. Unit 4, overview of cost accounting standards. We have super questions as 9 super questions and smart questions as 6 smart questions. Ready. So everyone are ready. Eating and watching, ma'am. Enta sukamo. Sukajivi. Em చెప్పలేం. We can start, ma'am. Yes. I'm starting. Ready with chai, Muskan. Everyone have your chais, everything. Because you are home. This is not what we say. Live, like face-to-face class. I can't see you. You can do whatever you want. But listen to class. Okay. Now, Unit 4 overview of cost accounting standards and GAAP. We have 9 super questions and 6 smart questions. But before moving on to smart questions, I have to give one clarity which many students ask me. Ma'am, in cost accounting standards and GASAP, it's very, very difficult to see all the cost accounting standards, or we are not even understanding one standard also. What are important standards and what are not important? So this is the thing. From practical point of view, what all standards are important? CAS2, capacity determination, practical question can be tested. CAS4, cost of production, acquisition, supply of goods or provision of services, practical question can be tested. CAS5, average cost of transportation, theory question. CAS4 also we have theory. CAS6, practical question. CAS7, practical question. CAS8, practical. CAS10, practical. And then from CAS21, practical question is there. So these are only the topics which you have to thorough conceptually for writing practical questions. Ma'am, how to become conceptually clear? Watch my Super 25 practical questions video. You'll get an idea about it. Okay. The questions which are important from this cost accounting standards are covered in Super 25 practical questions video. For practice, I'll give you another PDF. You can practice with that PDF. If you have any doubts, ask me in the Telegram channel. I'll reply it. Okay. Now, coming to the theory, what all we are going to see now questions are important for theory perspective. Okay. Now, Unit 4 overview of cost accounting standards and GASAP, GACAP, generally accepted cost accounting principles. First, starting with super question number 1. Explain the concept of cost accounting standard. This is your recent December 2025 mock question paper question. Mock question paper question, which means explain the concept of cost accounting standard. What does it mean by cost accounting standard? What all you know about cost accounting standard? Write down. Okay. Now, or else they can ask about the advantages of cost accounting standards. This is nothing but the intro for the entire unit of CS. From the introduction itself, they are asking a theory question. Now, cost accounting standards serve as an important guidelines for companies especially in managing their cost accounting practices. For preparing cost records, cost statements, and any related information of costing, the entity has to follow some guidelines which are specified under cost accounting standards. Now, these standards are designed to ensure uniformity and consistency across various sectors. Now, for example, if I tell you, if you have written the examination, for example, we'll take two people from the chat box. One is Nivedini and one is Muskan. You both have written an exam. And Nivedini has written CFR examination. Muskan has written CMAD examination. Muskan has written cost audit exam. Nivedini has written CFR exam. Okay. Now, can I compare these two papers and tell that, okay, Nivedini is clever than Muskan and Muskan is clever than Nivedini? Can I tell that? Can I compare those two? Is there any chance of comparison? The answer is no. Because there isn't any standard there. There isn't any proper thing that both are not same. If both are same, only then there will be a way of comparison. Now there is not same, so there is no point of comparison. Now when can I compare it? If both the students are writing the same question paper and if they are following my book, then I can tell the way of presentation should be according to me. Because in my class, I have put a standard that whatever I am telling, the same way you have to present it at the examination. So I can tell the difference between the both papers. Now, if Nivedini is not studying with me, but studying with the different faculty, and the different faculty has given a different way of presentation. Way of presentation is up to your own thing. You can present it in any way. Now, the way of presentation that faculty has given different and Muskan has read with me. Now, way of presentation is different. Both answers are correct, but presentation is different. Now, can I blame Nivedini based on the presentation? The answer is no, because there is no uniformity. There is no proper rule which is followed. There is no proper standard which is followed. So, to have a uniformity, which means each and every entity which is on the same sector, each and every department, each and every unit should follow the same rules, same procedures, same regulations, same standards. So to have that uniformity, comparison and consistency, we have something called as standards to be followed by each and every entity. Now when it comes to uniformity, you understand everyone should be equal. When it is come to comparison, you understand. You have to compare it with the other unit, other department, other company, you understand. Now what does it mean by consistency? This year you are using one standard, the next year also you have to use the same standard. Now if in this year you are taking FIFO method, next year you are taking LIFO method. In this year you are doing depreciation based on straight line basis. In next year you are doing the depreciation based on diminishing balance method. Now, can you compare the profits of current year with the next year? You can't do that. For comparison within the company, from one year to another year also, you need to have a consistency in following the rules, regulations and standards. I hope it is clear. So to have these three things most importantly, uniformity, consistency and comparability, we have standards designed. Helping organizations maintain transparent, comparable and complete cost records. The Institute of Cost Accountants of India has established the Cost Accounting Standards Board, and Cost Accounting Standards Board has issued the Cost Accounting Standards. Now, in your MCQs, if there is a question asking that who has issued the Cost Accounting Standards, directly your hand will go to Institute of Cost Accountants of India. The answer is wrong. Cost Accounting Standards have been issued by Cost Accounting Standards Board, and that Cost Accounting Standards Board has been established by Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I hope it is clear. The primary objective of Cost Accounting Standards Board is to formulate these standards which act as a benchmark for various stakeholders, including user organizations, government bodies, regulators, research agencies and academic institutions. So whatever you do, now you have a proper format which you do it as a profit and loss account. You have a proper format for balance sheet. You have, if you are taking material cost, you are writing material cost only like this. You are calculating something like this. How you are doing it? Because there is a standard. Okay. So to make everyone understand that this is the A after B will come, 1 after 2 will come. Why? It is already there. In maths it is already there. In English it is already there. So similarly you have to follow it. Now why material cost have to be recorded like this only? Why material cost have to be calculated like this only? Because it is there in the standard. Simple. I hope it is clear. Now this is the intro. Key objectives of cost accounting standards include, what are the objectives? Whatever we have seen now. Uniformity in cost accounting practices, transparency and disclosure, guidance for cost measurement, and adapting to legal and industry changes. Now, coming to uniformity in cost accounting practices. We have already seen across the entities, across the units, branches and sectors, there needs to be a uniformity. So that's the main objective. Now, second thing, transparency should be there. In a cost accounting standard, everything is clearly given, which means how you have to present each and every element, how you have to disclose each and every element. Now, whatever which is there in the cost accounting standards, if you're following it exactly, which means you are being very transparent. You are disclosing all the information which is there with you. You are following all the procedures. The entity is being transparent. Second, disclosure. Whatever vital information is required to be disclosed to government entities, shareholders, stakeholders, employees, customers, you're disclosing it. That is the second objective. Third, guidance for cost measurement. How you have to measure material cost. How you have to measure employee cost. How you have to measure packing material cost. How you have to measure finance cost. For each and every cost element, we have a standard. Based on that standard, how measurement principle is given, you do the measurement. Simple. Next, adapting to legal and industry changes. Now, for this, we have a example from the standards itself. Okay. First, CAS 4. CAS 4. Now, coming to the CAS 4, priorly, CAS 4 used to deal with captive consumption. Priorly, CAS 4 used to deal with captive consumption. Now, after GST has implemented in 2017, GST has been newly bought. Before 2017, there wasn't a concept called as GST. But in 2017, as the GST has bought, what happened? Cost accounting standard 4 has been revised again. CAS 4 has been revised again. And now in this particular term, whatever we are learning to be as a CAS 4, it includes the provisions from CGST Act. Which means inclusive of GST, we are calculating cost of production or acquisition or provision of goods or providing of services concept. Okay, whatever the cost is there, we are determining the value based on GST principles. So this is the main example to tell about the adapting to legal and industrial changes. So if priorly an entity used to follow CAS 4, now by just following standards, what happening? A major reform has been brought in the whole over India, bringing a new concept called as GST. Automatically the GST concept is also becoming applicable in your accounts because you are following CAS 4 from very long. So here we are directly adapting to legal and industrial changes. I hope it is clear. So these are the key objectives of CAS: uniformity, transparency, disclosure, guidance for cost measurement, and adapting to legal and industrial changes. I hope it is clear. Now, this question, utility or advantages of cost accounting standards. This has been tested in December 2019 as well as in December 2022 attempt types. Now, what are the advantages? First, structured cost measurement. Cost accounting standards provide a well-defined approach for the accurate measurement of cost in both the manufacturing and service sector. How you have to measure it and how well you have to measure it. It is already given. This helps in standardizing the way costs are tracked reducing variability in cost reporting. So there will not be any difference of calculating a cost. If you are a manufacturing industry A, if the other entity is manufacturing industry B, if you are calculating a material cost in certain way, that entity will also calculate the material cost in the same way, because it is there in the standard. So cost measurement is well defined, okay. Next, integration and harmonization. These standards integrate and harmonize various cost accounting principles and practices, ensuring consistency across different organizations and industries, which means cost accounting standard does not talk about only one factor. It does not only talk about material. It does not only talk about research. It does not only talk about quality. It talks about each and every element inside the industry. So this makes to become a transparent the whole of the entity. So through which we can compare one organization with the different organization. This does not take up only a single unit or single branch or single department. No, entire organization can be taken into the picture, and entire organization can be compared with the other organization. So it is integrity and harmonized. Third thing, guidance for uniformity and consistency. This is what we have seen in the prior picture only. CAs offer clear guidance to achieve uniformity and consistency in classifying, measuring, assigning, and allocating the cost of products and services. Next, legal and regulatory compliance. This is given in law, stating that you have to mandatorily follow it. So you have to follow it. This is the legal and regulatory compliance. What if you are not following it? Go take penalty. The standard provides a basis for computing the cost of product, activity, or service when required by legal and regulatory bodies. This is particularly important in industries where costing is regulated or forms part of compliance requirement. Next, clarity for stakeholders. Now, for example, who all will come under stakeholders? Everyone. Investors, employees, customers, everyone are stakeholders. Now, for example, you are an employee of a company. Okay. Now, you are an employee of a company. Now, you are going and asking to the management stating that why you have calculated my employee cost only like this. Why you have included all this in the employee cost and why you have not included all of this in the employee cost. Now, don't ask me why employee will go and ask the management now. Just assume that he is asked. Okay. Now, what management will tell? Management will not bring all the documents which are there within the company. They will put all the documents and tell, sir, look into all these documents. You can verify all the documents and decide what is right and what is wrong. No one will do that because you are just an employee. Now, what they will tell? Go do your work. This is there in the cost accounting standard. We have used it. That's it. So even an investor, even a shareholder, or any other person who doesn't have a knowledge of cost accounting standards, if they come and ask the management or the person who is in charge about why this has been done in this certain way, we can just use a single word stating that it is cost accounting standard. That's it. So to bring clarity to stakeholders, CAs assist in achieving a clear and uniform understanding of cost-related issues among various stakeholders such as users of organizations, government bodies, regulators, research agencies, academic institutions, whoever there are. So they need not to come and ask each and every management of why is that, why is this. They can just know what cost accounting standard we are following. This shared understanding promotes transparency and consistency in cost reporting. So all these are the advantages of cost accounting standards. What all it is? First, structured cost measurement, integration and harmonization, uniformity and consistency, legal and regulatory compliance, clarity for stakeholders. I hope it is clear. Now, cost accounting standards issued by Cost Accounting Standard Board of ICMAI. The structure of cost accounting standard consists of each and every cost accounting standard is in this way only. First, there will be introduction. Then there will be objectives of issuing standard, which means why this particular standard has been bought. Third, scope of standard. Scope, which means coverage of the standard. Where we will apply this standard and for what purpose we apply this standard is given in scope of standard. Next, definitions and explanations for the terminology which is used in that particular standard. Next, principles of measurement. If you're taking about material, how material has to be measured. For that, what principle is there? If it is employee cost, what is the principle which is there? Principles of measurement. Next, assignment of cost. Sorry, how the cost should be assigned, and then presentation and disclosure, how it should be presented, how it should be disclosed. Clear? In the same format, the structure of cost accounting standards, each and every standard will be there in the same format. Now, how many standards do we have? So far, Institute has released 24. This is not quote, this is cost. Typo error. 24 cost accounting standards we have. Now, coming to here, names of cost accounting standards. You have to remember entire 24 cost accounting standards. For remembering what we have to do, ma'am, by heart it. Ma'am, you are only telling to by heart it. There is no other option. In this, what you will understand and learn? CAS2, capacity determination. What you will understand here? Nothing. You have to remember it. For remembering, you have to read it again and again. Okay? Now, CAS1, classification of cost. CAS2, capacity determination. CAS3, production and operation overhead. CAS4, cost of production, acquisition, supply of goods or provision of services. CAS5, average or equalized cost of transportation. CAS6, material cost. CAS7, employee cost. CAS8, cost of utilities. CAS9, packing material cost. CAS10, direct expenses. CAS11, administrative overheads. CAS12, repairs and maintenance. CAS13, cost of service cost center. CAS14, pollution control cost. 15, selling and distribution overheads. 16, depreciation and amortization. 17, interest and financing charges. 18, research and development cost. 19, joint cost. 20, royalty and technical know-how fee. 21, quality control cost. 22, manufacturing cost. 23, overburden removal cost. And 24, treatment of revenue in cost statements. So these are the 24 cost accounting standards which we have. Why we have to remember it, ma'am? Because these are being tested in MCQs. Direct question. What is CAS 24? 4 options. Choose the one. Okay, clear? I hope everything is clear so far. Is the introduction of cost accounting standards clear to you? So this question can be tested. So far, about the entire concept of CAS hasn't been tested, but it is given in mock question papers, so I have included it. Advantages of cost accounting standard tested in the examination. In 2016 as well, in 2022 as well. Unnati, ma'am, theory come from CAS. Did you join the class right now, ma'am? Just now, did you join the class? Yes. Theory questions will also be tested from cost accounting standards. Will definitely be tested. My answer is, I don't know. Can be tested? The answer is yes. Yes, can be tested. Have it been tested? Yes, it is tested in previous attempts. Rajat, yes ma'am, clear. Namrata, yes ma'am. Bhanuteja, yes ma'am. Unnati, yes ma'am. You joined the class just now, huh? Okay. Yes ma'am, it is being tested. Okay. Now we are moving on to our next question, which is super question number 2. How capacity is determined according to cost accounting standard? Ma'am, is theory of cost accounting standard enough for MCQ purpose also? Yes. This theory, whatever I have given in this particular material, and the theory which I have discussed in Super 25 practical questions, enough for MCQs. And also MCQ video will also be there. Now you're getting tension. In that everything is covered. Whatever covered in this Super 25 practical questions, everything combined, mixi dalo, usme dalo. MCQ video. MCQ video will also be there. Super question number 2. How capacity is determined according to cost accounting standard. In which standard do we discuss about capacity determination? CAS 2. As per cost accounting standard issued by Cost Accounting Standard Board of Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Do we have to write this, ma'am? If tested, write it down. For getting 7 marks, you have to do Nana Tantas. This is one of that. Okay. CAS2, which deals with capacity determination, provides the following guidelines on this matter. How capacity will be determined? How many capacities do we have in CAS2? Installed capacity, normal capacity, actual capacity, achievable capacity, achievable or practical capacity. All these capacities we have. Okay. In this, only installed capacity and normal capacity is taken. But I am going to discuss all the capacities from handwritten notes. Okay. This was the question which has been tested in one of the examination for 4 marks. Now 4 marks topic is not there, no. So if 7 marks question is tested, you have to write it down. So for that purpose, we are discussing this from handwritten notes. Ma'am, how will be able to write it down, ma'am? You will be able to write it down. I have full confidence in you. Now, what does it mean by capacity? Maximum level of output or production. This we have also discussed in form CRA1. Yes or no? What is capacity? Maximum level of output or production from facility, machinery or system can achieve over a specific period of time under normal conditions. So when we call it as a capacity, it should be under normal conditions. It should be in a specified period of time. It should be either from a machinery or a system or a facility. Facility is nothing but a plant or the surroundings where you work. Okay. Facility, machinery or a system. And it should be the maximum level of output for production which you can achieve. Then it is called as a capacity. Now, what is called as normal capacity? Capacity which is achieved or achievable on an average over several periods under normal circumstances, which means which is already achieved or which is going to be achievable based on average of past actual capacities, which means, for example, if you are taking past 5 attempts capacity, past 5 periods capacity, and if you are doing an average for it, then it will become your normal capacity. Okay. Next, installed capacity. Now, what does it mean by installed capacity? Maximum output of a facility that can be achieved by operating continuously under ideal conditions. Remember the word continuously, without any interruptions, without any gaps. By operating continuously under ideal conditions, whatever the production which you can achieve or attain at a maximum level of output. By fuller utilization of available machinery and resources without any interruptions. It is called as installed capacity. Now, next, actual capacity utilization, which means volume of production or service provided during a specific period. How much production did it happen? And for that production, how much capacity you have utilized? Actually, how much it is utilized? That is actual capacity. Always actual capacity will be expressed in terms of installed capacity, which means actual capacity will be calculated, and for that it will be divided by installed capacity and will get some percentage. So always actual capacity will be referred as a percentage of installed capacity. Why like that? I'll give you an example. You will understand it clearly. Okay. Now, what is achievable or practical capacity? Maximum productive capacity minus inevitable internal interruptions, which means normal interruptions, whatever it is there. If it is abnormal interruption, eliminate it. With normal interruptions, whatever this maximum production is there, from this maximum, if we eliminate normal interruptions, then it is achievable or practical capacity. Like preventive maintenance, repairs, setups, normal delays, week of days, holidays. This does not include external factors. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now, all these are the definitions or regarding the capacity which you can write it down. Now, for this, I am giving you an example which I usually give to my students. Okay. Now, you all are preparing for CMA examination. Yes or no? Now, you will study for that. Yes or no? Yes, you will study for that. Ma'am, this is related to production. No, why we are taking studying for an example, for making you understand it. Okay. Now, what is your capacity to study per a day? What is your capacity to study for a day? Now, how will you determine your capacity? How much maximum I'll be able to study without sleeping continuously? Continuously for a specified period under normal conditions, how well you will be able to study. Which means, what are normal conditions? Relatives are not there in our home, or Bharat is not happening beside home, or else it is not some festival season like Diwali, Dasra, nothing is happening. Normal day is that specified period you are taking, and in that specified period, how much maximum you will be able to study. Okay, I can study for an approximate of 6 hours per day maximum. 6 hours per day maximum. This is the capacity calculation. Okay, now from this, what will be my normal capacity? What will be my normal capacity? Now, ma'am, if you take 4 days back, I studied for 5 hours only, ma'am. Normal days only. There wasn't any week offs, there wasn't any festivals, there wasn't any relatives at our home. Normal days are there. 4 days back, I studied for 5 hours. 3 days back, I studied for only 2 hours, ma'am. Because I was so sleepy on that day, I didn't had a mood to study, I didn't study. And 2 days back, I studied for 4 hours. And yesterday, I studied for 4 hours. Based on previous actual capacity, whatever you have done, actually how much you have studied. Based on past periods analysis, you are doing an average to it. Then this will be my normal capacity. I hope it is clear. Now, what will be my installed capacity? Maximum how much I can study? 24 hours a day. Did I eliminate anything from this? No. You want to have a lunch break? Don't eliminate it. You want to go out, meet your friends? Don't eliminate it. You have got a fever? Don't eliminate it. 24 hours maximum possible output. Installed capacity. Okay. Now, what is actual? What is you are studying? Only for 5 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours or 4 hours. What is the actual? It is only 5 or 4. How much you are studying it? Hope it is clear. Now, what is achievable or practical capacity? From this maximum capacity, which means from this installed capacity, if you are eliminating the interruptions. Now, what all interruptions can be there? Okay, my installed capacity is 24 days. From this 24 days, I am taking from this 24 hours, not 24 days, sorry. 24 hours is my installed capacity. From this, I can take a lunch break of 1 hour. I can go meet my friends for 1 hour. Okay, we are calculating some interruptions and then we are eliminating it. Then this will be my achievable or practical capacity. I hope it is clear. So this is how capacity will be determined. Determination of capacity. Capacity shall be determined in terms of units of production or services or equivalent machine or man hours. Installed capacity. Installed capacity is usually determined based on technical specifications of facility, technical evaluation, capacities of individual or interrelated production or operation centers, operational constraints or capacity of critical machines or equipment, number of shifts or machine hours or man hours. Based on all this, you can calculate the installed capacity. I hope it is clear. In case technical specifications of facility are not available, then do the estimates and then use it. The estimates by technical experts on capacity under ideal conditions shall be considered for determination of installed capacity. In case of installed capacities assessed as per direction of the government or regulator, it shall be in accordance with the said directives, which means if government has given you instructions that this is the licensed capacity, this is the how much capacity you can use it, then that will be your capacity. I hope it is clear. Reassessment of installed capacity. When you have to do the reassessment of installed capacity, installed capacity shall be reassessed in case of any change due to addition. You have added something, you have deleted something, addition, deletion, modification, or for any other reason from the date of such change. In that case, you have to do the reassessment of installed capacity. I hope it is clear. Next, normal capacity. Normal capacity is determined after suitable adjustments to the installed capacity. As I've already told you, adjustments you will clear and then you will get a normal capacity. Time loss due to scheduled preventive or planned maintenance, number of shifts or machine or man hours, holidays, normal shutdown days, normal ideal time, normal time lost in batch changeover. So this is how you will determine the capacity. Either you can write these as your points or you can write the exact definitions which we have discussed from the capsule. I hope it is clear. So this can be tested from CAS2 about how to determine a capacity. Is it clear? CAS2, is it clear? Guys, are you there? Is no one in the chat box from Tamil? Don't any one of you know Tamil? Anyone from the chat box knows Tamil? Is it clear? Manu Teja, yes ma'am, clear. Namrata, yes ma'am, clear. Yes ma'am. Only two are Manu Teja and Namrata. What about others? Rajat, yes ma'am, clear. Muskan, yes ma'am. Sudarshan, yes ma'am. Janardhan, yes ma'am. Ilek, okay sir. Who's sir? I'm not sir. I am madam. Ramesh Babu, yes madam. Sujesh, yes ma'am. Okay. Pujita, clear ma'am. Okay, done. Now, we're moving on to the next concept, which is CAS4. Super question number 3. How the cost of production of goods and provision of services as per CAS4 read with CGST rules are determined. Okay. Where the supply of goods or services is for consideration not wholly in money. As I've told you, CAS4, we have CGST rules. Okay. In CGST rules, we have rule 26, 27, 28, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We have these rules, which rules are very, very important, and from that question has been tested. And these questions can be tested in MCQs as well. Now I'm not going to deal with all the things, but we are directly going into the CGST. Okay. In CGST, we have two sections, which is section number 15, subsection 1 and section number 15, subsection 4. Cost of production. What is cost of production? Section 15, subsection 1 tells that value of supply is equal to transaction value. Just a moment, I'm very sorry. Hello. Section 15, subsection 1. Sorry. Value of supply is equal to transaction value. Now, what is called as transaction value? Price that is actually paid or payable, where the supplier and the recipient are unrelated and where the price is the sole consideration. That is called as a transaction value. Now, this transaction value is considered as a value of supply as per section 15, subsection 1. Now, what if the supplier and the recipient are related parties? Now, if it is unrelated, it is transaction value. Okay. What if they are related? What if the price is not the sole consideration? There we have section 15, subsection 4. If transaction value cannot be determined, then it will be determined according to chapter 4 of CGST rules, rule 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31. Now, what rule 27 tells us? Rule 27 tells us that supplies where consideration is not entirely in money, which means it is not sole consideration, not wholly in money, which means if you are purchasing a product which is of a 35,000 rupees, you are paying in cash 25,000 rupees and you are paying the other product. You are giving away the other product which costs 10,000 rupees. So here 25 plus 10,000. This is wholly in money. This is not in money. So here what is happening? The consideration is not entirely in money. In that case, value will be determined based on open market value. Value will be determined based on open market value or total monetary consideration plus equivalent value in the non-monetary terms or like kind and quality. Based on this, the value will be determined. What rule 28 tells us? Transaction between related parties or distinct persons. Yes, you're right, Muskan. Now, what rule 28 tells? Transaction is happening between a related party or a distinct person. Then the value will be open market value or value of like kind and quality. GST में भी है ये value of supply chapter में. वही तो हम discuss कर रहे हैं CGST वाला. अगर CGST Act से discuss कर रहे हैं तो वो GST में भी होगा ना. When goods are intended for a sale by recipient to an unrelated party, then the value will be 90% of a price charged to the recipient customer. Same in rule 29, supplier between principal and agent, the value will be open market value or 90% of the resale value charged by the agent to an unrelated customer. Now, if the value hasn't been determined by using rule 27, 28 or 29, then you can use rule 30. Rule 30 tells that value is equal to 110% of cost of production. Whatever cost you are incurring for a production, add 10% to that. That will be your value. 110% of cost of production, acquisition or provision of services. Only on this point you have a practical question. Okay. Now, if either by rule 30 you're not being able to determine the value, then you will go for rule 31. Determine as you wish. Use any method what you want. But the method should be on reasonable means. It should be fair, it should be logical and it should be a justifiable method. If all this have been satisfied, use whatever method you want. I hope it is clear. So this has been tested as a question. Where the supply of goods or services is for a consideration not wholly in money. Then Open market value or value of like kind and quality for a distinct or related persons. Where goods are intended for the further supply as such by recipient. If further supply is there, then the value will be 90% of the price charged for the similar goods to an unrelated customer. Cost-based valuation. If the value is not determinable, it is taken as 110% of the cost. So this is how you will present your answer. I hope it is clear. Rule 28 for both goods and services including sole selling agent. Yes, but here this is what we require for CMAD. Entire rule 28 is not required. Okay, so this is how you will present your answer for CAS 4. I hope it is clear. Firstly, if question has been tested, you have to write this as per cost accounting standards issued by Cost Accounting Standards Board of Institute of Cost Accountants of India. CAS 4 cost of production, acquisition, supply of goods or provision of services provides principles for determining the cost of production for valuing goods based on the cost. And then you will write the provision. I hope it is clear. Now, smart question number 1. To determine cost of production for captive consumption, what are the different cost components considered? How you will determine a cost of production? Components of cost of production. This is the repetitive point. I'm not telling it. Just the introduction you have to write. Institute of Cost Accountants of India has issued Cost Accounting Standards. CS4 title cost of production for captive consumption. Priorly, it used to be a captive consumption. Components. Material consumed, direct wages and salaries, direct expenses, works overhead, quality control cost, research and development cost, packing cost, administrative overheads related to production. All this will be considered for captive consumption. I hope it is clear. Adjustments, stock of work in progress and finished goods, you will adjust it, reduce it, and recover from sale of scrap and wastage. You will reduce it. I hope it is clear. Next super question number 4. As per cost accounting standard on determination of average equalized cost of transportation, CAS 5. What are the records to be maintained for ascertaining the transportation cost? What are records to be maintained? Maintenance of records. As per cost accounting standards issued by Cost Accounting Standards Board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CAS 5, which deals with average equalized cost of transportation, provides the following guidelines on this matter. Maintenance of records for ascertaining transportation cost. What all records should be maintained? Firstly, I have given a detailed answer. After that, I have given a simple answer. Whatever you want, you can write it in the examination. But in this, I am going to discuss the detailed answer. Okay. First, proper records shall be maintained for recording the actual cost of transportation, showing each element of cost such as freight, cartage, transit insurance and others after adjustment for recovery of transportation cost. If there is any recovery, adjust it. Other than that, whatever the freight is there, cartage is there, transit insurance is there, everything has to be recorded. Abnormal costs relating to transportation costs, if any, are to be identified and recorded for exclusion of computation of average cost of transportation. I hope it is clear. So, you have to include freight, cartage, transit insurance. If insurance have been recovered, reduce that. If there is any abnormal cost incurred, then reduce it when calculating average transportation cost. This is the record which has to be maintained. Then, in case of manufacturing having his own transportation fleet, which means for transportation he is using his own vehicle, then proper records shall be maintained to determine the actual operating cost of a vehicle, showing details of various elements of cost such as salaries and wages to the driver, cleaner and others, cost of fuel, lubricant grease, amortized cost of tires and batteries, repairs and maintenance cost, depreciation of the vehicle, distance covered, trips made, goods hauled and transported to the department. So all this information you have to record it if manufacturer is having a own transportation fleet. If manufacturer is going for a hired transportation fleet, in case of hired transport charges incurred for dispatch of goods, complete details shall be recorded as the date of dispatch, type of transport used, description of goods, destination of buyer, name of consignee, challan number, quantity of goods in terms of weight or volume, distance involved, amount paid, etc. Now, records shall be maintained separately for inward transportation and outward transportation. For bringing materials to inside the factory, inward transportation. For taking whatever finished goods are there to the market or to the godown warehouse, outward transportation. Inward and outward transportation specifying the details, particulars of goods dispatch, name of supplier or recipient, amount of freight. Separately you have to record it. Separate records shall be maintained for identification of transportation costs towards inward movement of material procurement. Separately you have to write for material procurement. Only when you are bringing material, how much transportation you have incurred. And transportation cost of outward movement of goods removed or sold for both home consumption and export. Inside the country, whatever home consumption is there, or you have exported it. Both write it separately. Record it separately. Record for transportation costs from factory to depot and therefore shall be maintained separately. Record for transportation costs for carrying any material or product to job worker place and back. Recorded separately. Shall be maintained separately so as to include the same in the transaction value of the product. Records of transportation cost for goods involved exclusively for trading activities, only for buying and selling of products. If you have incurred any transportation cost, record it separately. Will not be included in for claiming any deduction for calculating assessable value, excisable goods cleared for home consumption. If you're not maintaining this point, then you can't take the deduction. Records of transportation costs directly allocated to a particular category of products should be maintained separately. Only for bringing this particular product, if you have incurred any cost, record it separately. For common transportation costs, both for own fleet or a hired fleet, proper records for basis of apportionment should be maintained. Apportion it separately and maintain the record. Records of transportation costs for exempted goods, excisable goods claimed for export shall be maintained separately. Separate records of cost for mode of transportation other than road like ship, air are to be maintained, which will include in total cost of transportation. Nothing but for each and everything you have to maintain a separate record. I hope it is clear. So these are the records which you have to maintain in case of CAS 5 transportation cost. I hope it is clear. I'm sorry. Now, smart question number 2. Answer the following with reference to transportation cost as per Cost Accounting Standard 5. What items of cost shall not be included in transportation cost? Demurrage charges, detention charges will not form part of transportation cost. For apportionment of outward transportation cost, what basis should be adopted? Now first, covers transportation cost include freight, cartage, transit insurance, fleet operating cost, excludes penalties, detention charges, demurrage charges and abnormal cost. I hope it is clear. Outward transportation cost can be apportioned on the basis of weight, volume of goods and ton per kilometers, unit or equivalent units, value of goods, percentage of space used. Based on this, you can apportion the outward transportation cost. And then consistency in apportionment basis is required. Whatever apportionment basis you are taking, if for this particular transportation, if you are taking the apportionment as a weight, based on weight you are apportioning, then in the next also you have to use the weight only. If you are using value of goods, use the value of goods. If you are using number of goods, use the number of goods. The way you are calculating and apportioning, it should be on a consistent basis. I hope it is clear. So far we have discussed CAS2, capacity determination, CAS4, cost of production, acquisition, provision of goods or supply of services. Next, CAS5, transportation cost. CAS2, CAS4, CAS5. Theory, is it clear? Having any doubts? Guys, is it clear? Having any doubts? Banu Teja, clear, ma'am. What about others? Rajat, clear, ma'am. Where is Titan Gaming? Are you not listening to the class, Titan? Raghava, yes, ma'am. Pujita, clear, ma'am. What? What about Namrata? Narayanan, clear, ma'am. Okay. Done. Now we're moving on to the next question. Super question number 5. How would you treat the following as per CA7, employee cost? Okay. Separation cost due to voluntary retirement and retrenchment termination. When there are separation cost, how you are going to treat it? And ideal time cost. As per cost accounting standard issued by the cost accounting standard board of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CA7, which deals with employee cost, provides the following guidelines on this matter. Treatment of separation cost and ideal time cost. Separation cost like voluntary retirement, retrenchment, termination should be amortized over the benefiting period and treated as an indirect cost, assigning appropriately. I hope it is clear. First, you have to amortize over the benefiting period and then it should be treated as an indirect cost. Unamortized cost related to discontinued operations should be charged to the profit and loss account, not as an employee cost. If there is any employee cost which is incurred, but it has been incurred for an discontinued operations, in that case, that will not form part of employee cost, rather than take it to the profit and loss account. I hope it is clear. Next, ideal time cost can be directly assigned to the cost objects if feasible. If ideal time is related to one particular person, assign it. One particular plant, assign it. One particular department, assign it. Directly assigned to the cost object if feasible. Treated as overheads based on economic feasibility. If it is not directly assignable, we can't tell if it is related to one department, one person, one product. If we can't tell it, then treat it as an overhead, indirect cost. Normal ideal time, like lunch breaks and holidays, is included in the employee cost while determining the cost per hour. I hope it is clear. So this is the ideal time cost basis calculation. I hope super question number 5 is clear. Now, super question number 6. What items of expenses are to be included as employee cost as revised CA7 guidelines? What will be included? The revised CA7 guidelines lay down that the following items of expenses are included in the employee cost for all employees, whether temporary, part-time, contractual employee. Employee cost payable in cash or in kind, excluding prior period cost. Prior period cost will not form part of employee cost. Salaries, wages, allowances, bonus or incentive, contribution to provident fund, other funds, employee welfare and other benefits all form part of employee cost. Then employee cost will also include the future benefits like gratuity, leave encashment, other retirement or separation benefits, VRS voluntary retirement scheme or other deferred employee cost and other future benefits. Current benefits are also included, future benefits are also included, but past period cost is not included. Benefits generally include paid holidays, leave with pay, statutory provisions for insurance against accident or health scheme, statutory provisions for workman's compensation, free or subsidized food, housing, education to children, canteen, creches and recreational facilities, conveyance, leave travel concession, medical benefits to the employees and dependents, interest-free or subsidized loans. All this will form part of employee cost. I hope it is clear. Smart question number 3. So far here we have completed CAS 7. So theory questions can be tested from CAS 2, 4, 5 and 7. Now, smart question number 3. How would you assign primary and secondary packing material cost as per CAS 9? CAS 9 deals with packing material cost, in which we have two categories. Packing material can be primary packing material cost or secondary packing material cost. Now, what is called as primary packing material cost? If to hold that product as it is, to without changing the feature of that particular product, without changing the shape or the consistency of that particular product, to hold that product, if we are putting any packaging, then it is primary packing material cost. If to transport that particular product or to make it what we say, to make it as a marketing stunt, to advertise that particular product, if we are putting any other material on it, then it is called a secondary packing material. See, for example, you're going to a medical store for purchasing a medicine. Now, whenever you are asking for a tablet, they will not take out the tablet and give it to you, right? Tablets, all to make the tablet to stay in one place, there will be sheets. Yes or no? That sheet is primary packing material. Whatever cost is incurred for that sheet is primary packing material cost. Now, if you are going to purchase a tablet, you will purchase one tablet. Now, if you are going to a manufacturer, will he sell one particular tablet? No, he will give a lot. Now, to make all that to sit in one place, they'll use some cottons. For transportation, they'll use big cottons, covers, all that are secondary packing materials. I hope it is clear. Now, if primary packing material cost is there, how it will be assigned? Primary packing material cost will be considered as cost of production because it is necessary to hold that particular product. Okay. Primary packing material cost shall form part of cost of production. Whereas cost of secondary packing material will be distribution overheads. Not distribution cost, distribution overheads, which means for transportation, for marketing, for advertising, we are using it. So it is indirect cost which is used in distribution overheads. I hope it is clear. Now, super question number 7. Write note on secondary packing materials and its treatment as per CAS 9. What does it mean by secondary packing materials? Secondary packing material refers to packing used for marketing, transportation or distribution purposes, but not essential for preserving the product's usability. It is not being used to put that product in one place or to use that particular product. No. For marketing, for distribution, for advertising, we are using that. It is called as secondary packing material. It is different from primary packing, which is required for protecting the product until its consumption. Now, examples of secondary packing: cartons, boxes, crates used for transportation, branded outer packaging for display and marketing, shrink wraps, secondary cartons or bubble wraps for handling convenience. Treatment as per CAS 9. Secondary packing material cost is treated as selling and distribution overheads since it is used for marketing and distribution and not for product preservation. The cost of secondary packing is included in the cost of sales and not in the production cost. Primary packing materials included in the production cost. Secondary packing materials included in the cost of sales. The cost of secondary packing material should include purchase cost, freight, duties and other direct expenses incurred. Abnormal costs such as excessive wastage should be excluded from the cost determination. If secondary packing is used for multiple products, its cost should be allocated based on the rational basis, based on quantity or weight of products packed. How much quantity of products are packed? 4 products packed, 5 products packed, or based on the weight of that particular product, you have to write it down. It is shown as part of selling and distribution overheads in cost statements as well and considered in determining the selling price of a product. It is considered as selling and distribution overheads and it is included in the cost of sales. That is what it is. Thus, under CAS 9, secondary packing material is not treated as a part of production but rather as a selling expense, ensuring that the cost determination remains accurate. I hope it is clear. So, this is the theory question which can be tested from CAS 9, packing material cost. I hope it is clear. Is it clear so far whatever we have discussed? Guys, are you there? Is it clear? CAS 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. Is it clear? Sujesh, yes ma'am. Nivedini, clear ma'am. Ramesh Babu, yes madam. Okay. Bhanu Teja, clear ma'am. Okay. Now we are moving on to smart question number 4. What is cost center and what are the types of cost center? This is a theory question from CAS 13, service cost center. According to CAS 13, a service cost center is a cost center that primarily renders services to other cost centers rather than directly contributing to the production of goods. In the previous class, I've told you. Now, what does it mean by a cost center? We are incurring some cost to it, but it is not related to production. So, we are not getting the direct profit from it. A department or a product or a unit, anything can be. We are incurring a cost for it, but it is not related to production, because of which we are not getting a direct profit from it. That is called as a cost center. Now, what is the service cost center? For this cost center, if services are being rendered by this another cost center, it is called a service cost center. Like, even if it is a cost center, it needs water, it needs electricity, it needs steam, anything can be. It needs resources to run. Yes or no? So, if those resources as a service is being provided by another department to the cost center, it is called as a service cost center. I hope it is clear. Types of cost center as per CAS 13. CAS 13 focuses on service cost center and their cost accumulation and allocation. It categorizes the cost centers into production cost center and service cost center. Now, what is called as production cost center? These cost centers are directly engaged in manufacturing goods. Example, machining department or assembly unit. Service cost center. These cost centers support production or other service functions and do not produce goods directly. Like utility services like powerhouse, boiler, water treatment, material handling like stores, warehousing, packing, or administrative and support services like HR, IT, security, and transportation. All these are called as service cost centers, which will provide services to the production cost centers. I hope it is clear. Treatment of cost as per CAS 13. The cost incurred in the service cost center is collected separately and then allocated or apportioned to the production and other cost centers based on suitable basis of allocation. Example like machine hours, labor hours, usage basis. Based on that, we will take the cost, we will allocate it separately. Direct expenses related to service cost center like maintenance cost, fuel cost for power generation should be identified separately. If there are any joint cost, those should be apportioned equally. If there is joint cost, apportion equally. I hope it is clear. So this is about the CAS 13 service cost center. Now, super question number 8. What are the principles of measurement to be followed for depreciation and amortization as per CAS 16? Cost Accounting Standard 16 talks about depreciation and amortization. This you already know how you will measure depreciation. Principles of measurement. How you calculate? Basis of calculation. Depreciation is based on depreciable amount, cost minus residual value and useful life of asset. Residual value is assumed to be 0. You will always take the residual value as 0 unless otherwise the third party commits to buying the asset at the end of its life. The residual value is nothing but a scrap value. Now, what will be the scrap value? Scrap value will always be 0 unless otherwise at the end of useful life. Someone has come to you and told that they will purchase the asset for this particular amount. Okay, the useful life of asset is for 10 years. After 10 years, the value will be 0. But one buyer has come to you and told that after 10 years, they will purchase that particular scrap for 50 rupees. Then the residual value is 50 rupees. I hope it is clear. Or else, an active market exists to determine its residual value. If it is a scrap, there is a market for that. In market, it is being sold for 100 rupees because it is iron. Then the residual value will be 100 rupees. Okay. Residual value is assumed to be 0 unless a third party commits to buying the asset at the end of its life. An active market exists to determine its residual value. Useful life estimation. Consider wear and tear, obsolescence and legal limits. Depreciation should not be lower than the amount prescribed by law or regulatory authorities. So, for each and every calculation of depreciation, we have a rate. So, you have to follow that rate only. In tax, you have, right? For computers, 40%. For books, something. For machinery, 10%. We have prescribed limits. Intangible assets. Useful life should not exceed the legal or contractual period unless a renewal is assured at the minimal cost. Useful life should not exceed the contractual period when you are going for an intangible asset. Maximum useful life should not exceed 10 years from when the asset is available for use. Always intangible asset, useful life should be less than 10 years. Depreciation period will start when the asset is available for use and will stop when the asset is held for sale or derecognized. Depreciation method should match the asset's benefit consumption pattern like straight line, diminishing balance or units of production. Whatever you want, choose it. Revaluation depreciation should not be assigned to the cost object. Impairment loss is excluded from the cost determination. Methods and rates must be renewed annually and changes applied if usage patterns change. If spare parts and equipment is there. If spare parts and equipment are considered as property, plant and equipment, if it's coming under the definition of PPE, then consider it to be a property, plant and equipment. Otherwise, they are treated as an inventory. This ensures compliance with accounting standards while accurately reflecting asset usage and cost allocation. So, this is how you will measure the depreciation. You already know this. Whatever you know points about depreciation, you can write it in this answer. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now, super question number 9. Explain how depreciation and amortization, spare parts, standby equipment and servicing equipment are treated in accounting for fixed assets according to the guidelines provided in company's cost records and audit rules 2014. Okay, now accounting for fixed assets and depreciation. First, record maintenance. Maintain proper records for assets used in the production or service. What assets you are using for production, what you are using for services. Separate records should be maintained. Records should include asset classification, what is its cost, installation charges, acquisition date and depreciation rate. Everything should be recorded properly. Then, depreciation and amortization. Follow Schedule 2 of Companies Act 2013 and applicable accounting standards for measuring and calculating depreciation. Depreciation not recognized in financial statements is a non-cost item. If it is recognized, then it is financial item. If it is not recognized, it is a non-cost item. Special cases. Assets temporarily retired from use. Depreciation is treated as abnormal cost. In that particular period, it is treated as abnormal cost. Impairment loss will be excluded from the cost of production. Spare parts and standby equipment classified as fixed assets if they meet the criteria of property, plant and equipment and depreciated accordingly. If that doesn't meet the definition of PPE, then it will be classified as inventory. I hope it is clear. Assignment of depreciation, direct tracing. If feasible, depreciation is assigned to specific cost object directly. If it is not, then for indirect allocation, you will choose two principles. Either you will go for cause and effect. For what purpose you are taking the depreciation? Related to process, activity, incurring cost. For what process or for what activity you are doing a depreciation. Or else, you will go with the second principle, which is benefits received. By doing this depreciation, what benefit you have received? A portion based on the benefits derived by different cost objects. This ensures accurate cost determination while maintaining compliance with accounting regulations. I hope it is clear. So this is how you will do about depreciation and amortization. This is the point. You will do according to Schedule 2. Spare parts and standby equipment. If it is under definition of PPE, consider it as PPE and depreciate it. If it doesn't come under the definition of PPE, then take it as inventory. Then after that, fixed assets. How you will assign the depreciation? If directly assignable, assign it directly. If you are not being able to assign directly, indirectly you will go either by cause and effect or benefits received principle. I hope it is clear. This is about CAS 16, depreciation and amortization. I hope it is clear. So till here, these are super questions. CAS 2, CAS 4, CAS 5, CAS 7, CAS 9 and CAS 13. CAS 13 I guess I have given it as CAS 16. CAS 13 is not the CAS 16. It is super question. Okay. Now, smart question 5. I hope so far whatever we have discussed it is clear. Now, smart question number 5. Explain the treatment of finance cost according to the guidelines provided under Companies Cost Records and Audit Rules 2014. What does it mean by finance cost? It is given under CAS 17. As per Cost Accounting Standards issued by Cost Accounting Standards Board of Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CAS 17, which deals with interest and financing cost, provides the following guidelines on this matter. Finance costs refer to expenses incurred for borrowing funds or payments for using non-equity funds. For using non-equity funds, whatever borrowing you have done or whatever payment you have done, that will be called as finance cost. Finance cost for a qualifying asset related to acquisition, construction or production of fixed assets will be included in the cost of asset. Other finance cost related to production, operation or services but not a qualifying asset will not form part of asset. Okay. Exclusions from finance cost, imputed cost, hypothetical cost. If there are any hypothetical costs, then it will be excluded from finance cost. Penal interest, fines, Penalties and statutory levies excluded from finance cost. Interest on investment, not part of production cost. Investment which is not related to production, it will not form part of finance cost. If there any subsidy grant or treatment, any subsidy grant or incentive received related to finance cost should be deducted from the cost object when recognized as an income. When you're taking that grant or a subsidy as an income, reduce it from the cost of object. Assignment of finance cost. Either go for cause and effect principle or you will use the benefit received principle. Excuse me. Sorry. So this is about the CA17 finance cost. I hope it is clear. Now, our last question from cost accounting standards, smart question number 6. How do you define packing material as per generally accepted cost accounting principles? Now, coming to generally accepted cost accounting principles, many students will have doubt. Ma'am, we are studying 24 cost accounting standards and then we have to again revise GASAP. It's way too much, no need. Whatever you have studied, the main important points from cost accounting standards, you can write in generally accepted cost accounting principles as well. Okay. Now, so far, did any question has been asked from GASAP? The answer is no. Only once it has been tested and it is about the packing materials. Okay. Packing materials are used for holding, identifying, describing, storing, protecting, displaying, transporting, promoting and making the product marketable. Classification, primary packing and secondary packing. What is primary packing? Essential for preserving the product until use. Example like strips of tablets in the pharmaceutical industry. Included in the cost of production. Secondary packing, used for storage, transport, marketing and customer information. Example, cartons holding tablet strips, considered as selling and distribution overheads. Cost assignment, directly traced if feasible. If not directly traced, assigned based on the quantity consumed or technical estimates. Reusable packing cost is allocated based on the expected usage period. Now, what is reusable packing? If we are using the same package for multiple times and for multiple products, it is reusable packing material. For that, if we are incurring any cost, it is reusable packing material cost. I hope it is clear. Thus, primary packing is part of production cost, while secondary packing falls under the distribution overheads, ensuring proper cost classification. So, the same thing which we have seen in cost accounting standards is given here as well. I hope it is clear. So, these are the smart and super questions from Unit 4 overview of cost accounting standards and GASAP. We have seen 9 super questions and 6 smart questions. I hope whatever we have discussed in today's class, it's clear. We have completed Unit 3 Cost Auditor and Unit 4 Overview of Cost Accounting Standards and GAAP Generally Accepted Cost Accounting Principles. I hope it's clear. Guys, is it clear whatever we have discussed? Section A, Cost Audit, Unit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is it clear? Do you have any doubts from the theory questions, whatever we have discussed? Nivedini, clear ma'am? What about others? Bhanuteja, clear ma'am? Sujesh, thank you so much ma'am. You're welcome Sujesh. Muskan, yes ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, practical questions in CAS மட்டும் once சொல்லுங்க. கண்டிப்பா. CAS 2 practical question. CAS 4 practical question. CAS 6 practical question. CAS 7, practical question. CAS 8, practical question. CAS 10, practical question. And CAS 21, practical question. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 21. From this, practical questions are being tested. What about difference, if any? What is the difference? I didn't get you. Cost accounting standards difference. Everything is different from one another. What is there in difference? How can you compare the difference? Rajat, thank you, ma'am, for your efforts. Thank you so much. Bhanu Teja, no, ma'am, thank you. You don't have any doubts. Raghava, differences. Differences, okay. What differences? Differences between cost accounting standards. There isn't any question which states about differences of cost accounting standards. Will not be tested, haven't been tested so far. Sudarshan, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so our day 2 marathon of theory questions is completed. Now, I've told you, I've given you the enough clarity of all the theory questions which can be tested and how you have to present it in the examination as well. Whatever the format which is given in this particular material, follow the same format and write it down. Everything should be written in the point-wise manner. Do not forget about it. Okay. So yes. When will part 2 be uploaded? Part 2 of what? Section B. Section B management audit will discuss tomorrow. SPMBV. I don't know. Maybe by this week, sir will upload it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining the live. Now, day 2 of marathon is completed, and so far we have completed section A, 4 units. Unit 1, basics of cost audit. Unit 2, companies, cost records and audit rules 2014. Unit 3, cost auditor. And Unit 4, overview of cost accounting standards and GESA. So these are the theory questions which can be tested in the examination. I hope everything is clear. If you have any doubts, then you can ask me in the Telegram group. I'll be active in that. मैम थियोरी जैसा मटेरियल में वैसा सेम एग्जाम में लिखना है या वी कैन फ्रेम इट इन आवर ओन वर्ड्स यू कैन फ्रेम इट इन योर ओन वर्ड्स बट टर्मिनोलॉजी जो भी है वो यही टर्मिनोलॉजी उनका यूज करना चाहिए जो भी टेक्निकल वर्ड्स हम बोलते हैं वो टेक्निकल वर्ड्स ऐसे ही यूज करना चाहिए इफ पॉसिबल देन व्हाटएवर आई हैव गिवन द सेम फॉर्मेट राइट इट डाउन सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन यू कैन चेंज इट बाय हाथ तो नहीं कर सकते ना okay so yes and coming to again I'm telling this material have been shared in the Telegram channel and the complete material will be shared as early as possible. We'll see you guys in the tomorrow's class and tomorrow's topic will be basics of management audit, management reporting issues and analysis, unit 1 and unit 2 of section B management audit. Okay, I hope it is clear. We'll see you guys in the tomorrow's class. And don't forget to revise it. Material has already been shared in the Telegram channel. Revise whatever we have discussed in today's class. Okay? Bye. Thank you all.